You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks, I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
And it's 9 o'clock here in Tampa Bay.
Sure
and it's
is.
time for the Beans and Dice call-in show. Welcome to the call-in show, everybody.
9 o'clock. Holy crap. We
Almost on the dot. Almost on the dot.
Fix that wire.
I planted that on purpose. I paid his kids. It's like, shut that man up.
He had a better wire last week.
Wires. Well, folks, it is Thursday night. We are here to talk about gaming. We have no direct focused topics this evening. We did our top 20 boards and have seen a lot of updates in the channel of other folks' top top 20 boards. So we want to thank you for doing that. But
nice.
we
I
will
appreciate people putting all that stuff up there. It's always fun to look at other people's lists, see what's new, what's coming in, what's going out. That's always a good time.
we will comment on your top 20 boards.
Oh, we
That's
will.
what we really enjoy.
We will, good or bad. I know I posted a few. Hey, that doesn't belong up there.
I know
Captain Sonar.
Carlos was Captain Sonar and some Western Legends today.
Listen, Western Legends is good. It I think what bugged me is it was Captain Gamer who put it up there.
Yep.
And I know his taste of games. Sans a couple that I'm like, I don't know if they are that good. But I tend to expect, a decent report. And when I saw Western Legends hit that high on his gaming, I'm like, man, and it hurts me because I had the opportunity to play it.
You still never played it, huh?
No. I bought it.
Yeah.
I holy grailed it. Like I was wanting it, so I bought it.
Oh, yeah. I saw it on
And
the
then I
shelf
put
for a
it
while.
on the shelf. I set it up on the table. We never got it played. And then Zeno traded me my copy of Western Legends for his copy of The Great War, which is a Commands and Colors game by Richard Borg that's out of print, right? And I'm like, one Grail game for another. Let's do it. So I traded without ever having had the opportunity to play Western Legends. Speaking of Captain Gamer, hello, Chris in the chat.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, it's a good game. I played, I think, four times now, and I like it quite a bit.
It's not like you can't just borrow it from Zeno.
Yeah.
And that's what I told myself is it on a game day I should be able to get him to bring it.
Yeah.
And part of it was reading the rules and learning the game. That was a little daunting on that one. That was like a lot. Like, I got to a point where, you know what? I'd rather just play and have someone else teach me.
Yeah, it's one of those games that different areas kind of have some different rules because you can run around and do so many different things. But to be honest, it's really not that hard. It's probably because you can do so many things. But if you're actually in the game playing, a lot of it just kind of makes sense. So you might have to breathe as you go to an area. You might have to take a quick look at the book, just be like, how does that area work again? But as soon as you've done it once or twice, it's pretty natural. I think a lot of this stuff makes sense.
That was the top 20 boards that we updated along with you folks in the top 20 on the Discord. That's a reminder. Check out the Discord. For those of you that haven't, you can get a link to it from the Facebook site, the Facebook page. I'm not sure if we're searchable yet, but we can get a link to you. If you comment in the comments, we can throw a link up in there. I'm sure Wayne knows how to do that. But check out the Discord, join the Discord, talk about what you've been up to gaming-wise.
Nice.
That's right.
So what do we got going on tonight? I know
We had some news topics.
Yeah.
That we were going to go through. Mike, I don't know if you brought any specific topics. You'll get your chance to host the show too and bring up anything that you'd like. And after that, we really just hope the phones show up and help us to do what we do best, which is take your calls.
We're going to open those lines about 20, 25 minutes. We're going to run through some news stuff as we do here on the show, kind of prime the pump, give some ideas of stuff that's going on. But you're not obligated to talk about whatever we're talking about, as always, on the Thursday night call-in show. Whatever you've been up to, take over the show for about 10 minutes. Just call. You can ask us questions about things. I know we've got people who enjoy quizzing us on things, but do that. Tell us what you've been playing. Tell us what you've been hearing. If you got any game days coming up, tell us about that, what you got scheduled for that. We're all excited. And any conventions. We've talked recently about convention season never ends now. It's a year-round thing. So if you're going to any conventions, we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, I think for me, what I saw in the recent plays section of the Discord, I believe it's the channel we saw it in, Edmund England posted some pictures of him playing his prototype out in a convention in Europe somewhere. And I don't recall. I'm trying to find the exact post. But I know he was focused on creating his prototype for his container game.
Yep.
And he showed some pictures. I think the one thing that I noticed in the pictures that I really wanted to comment out on was, okay, I get it. He's from Sweden, right? Sweden? Did I get that
Yep.
right?
You got it right.
But I love seeing that the IKEA blue bag is like
It's universal.
standard like board game hauling across the globe. On the other side, like in Europe, people are hauling their games around in IKEA bags, and maybe they had IKEA first, the blue and yellow.
A little closer.
But it kind of made the world a little bit smaller for me. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, okay, we can connect.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Oh, Wayne, you're on mute.
Sorry, got a phone call there. I think you're right, Carlos. Any game convention or game meetup or anytime you have a gamer carrying a bunch of board games, probably almost anywhere in the world at this point, for sure, North America, South America, Australia, anywhere in Europe, you're gonna see that blue IKEA bag at some point, right? I
found it. It was Shameless Plugs is the channel, and his game is called Loading Ships, and it's Protospiel
There it is, Protospiel. That's right.
at LinCon 2024.
Nice.
All right, what do y'all got? What have y'all seen that you want to highlight this week? Mike, feel free and pop in.
The only thing that I really have is now we're posting up pics.
There's the
now.
IKEA bag. Like it's in the back, like deep in the back corner. But that's the first thing I noticed. Like they do IKEA bags too.
Nice. You picked that out.
That was good. I did not notice that.
Yeah.
No, me either.
So really the only news thing that I had in here was it was an update from the King Raccoon Games, who are going to be doing the Tsukiyumi update, or they're going to do another Kickstarter.
Wait, say that for after dark. What?
That's right.
The what?
Yeah.
The Tsukiyumi T-U-T.
Oh, don't try to spell it.
That was easy for me to say.
Oh, yeah.
Tsukuyumi, Tsukiyumi.
Tsukiyumi.
They're getting ready to do another crowdfunding round in June. This is going to be updating their rules. They're going to have other expansions that they're going to be releasing, and they're kind of cleaning everything up. So they actually have a partner now with what's the people that do the inserts?
Either Folded Space.
Traits. Or no.
Definitely not Broken Token.
No. The plastic ones though.
There you go.
Zen Bins.
Game Trace.
Game
with a
Trace.
Z.
Game Trace, thank you. Which was a big problem with their last Kickstarter, because whoever designed like the inserts and everything, they had no idea what the flip they were doing. So they're working with Game Trace this round as well. They're cleaning up the rules. They're coming out with like a 2.0 rule set. Anyway, initially when they announced this, they were going to be on GameFound, and I got an update Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, they're moving to Kickstarter.
Yeah, so Wednesday, they officially announced that they are going to be moving to Kickstarter. And the only thing that they really had in their email or their update, it said, we initially set up a preview campaign on GameFound. Due to important reasons, we have to move the campaign to Kickstarter.
Reasons.
Yeah, important. And I'm reading this word for word. Due to important reasons,
we
have to move the Kickstarter to the campaign to Kickstarter. If you follow it on GameFound, please come on over to Kickstarter. We will switch off the GameFound preview next week. However, the Pledge Manager will be on GameFound, and we will enable stretch pay. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That I'm just curious. Like, I mean, they delivered on their last Kickstarter for the last Tsukiyumi. I think all their Kickstarters are delivered. There shouldn't be anything like that against them from doing anything on GameFound. So I just thought it was kind of weird that a board game went from GameFound to Kickstarter, where I think we've heard across the board that GameFound has a little bit more incentives for board gamers over Kickstarter. And this isn't like a huge, King Raccoon Games. They're not a huge publisher per se. And I mean, they didn't. I don't know if this is accurate, but the last Kickstarter they did was with Plaid Hat Games, or was it Plaid Hat? I think it was. I can't remember. Who the ones that did Reavers of Midgard, and was that Plaid Hat Games?
I don't think it was Plaid Hat.
I can't remember the name of the company. It was the one that I swore that I'd never do another Kickstarter on.
The Gray
See if I
Fox.
can look it up real quick.
Gray Fox. Thank
Gray
you.
Fox.
It was
There you
Gray
go.
Fox Games.
We keep a list of all your sworn enemies for you.
I haven't had a problem with Gray Fox.
Well, they've had some issues in the past.
Yeah.
I got it tattooed on my chest, ride or die. I'm ride or die with Mike. Gray
you
Fox
go,
is off
man.
my list forever.
On it.
So their last Tsukiyumi, that was the one that kind of drew the line for me. They did a couple of things with Reavers as well. I think the issue is that I don't know if they like outgrew their britches or whatever, but there were a lot of mistakes that were made, and they were very flippant or nonchalant about trying to resolve the issues, which I didn't care for. Anyway, they don't mention anything about them in this particular update. It's like King Raccoon Games across the board, and the only other partner, quote unquote, that they're mentioning is Game Trays, which I'm very happy about. And I swore I would never back another Tsukiyumi Kickstarter, but with
2018,
all these
2020,
updates, it seems like that this could be this could get me back into it.
Back in.
So,
So-
what's weird is like they're leaving GameFound for the main sort of Kickstarter campaign. Because that's like a verb. It's like Kleenex, right? But they're staying with them for their pledge manager and allowing stretch pay. So like, does that mean on Kickstarter you just do like a small, hey, I want to do stretch pay, and then when I go over to GameFound, I'll do stretch pay. And what was also interesting, so GameFound is letting them go to Kickstarter and let them advertise on the preview campaign, like on their preview campaign page, which would have been the live campaign in a couple of weeks, whatever goes live.
Right.
Hey, we're going over to Kickstarter. Like, so that's crazy to me that like if I'm GameFound, I'm like, F you. Like, you can't advertise. Like, I'm taking down
but Wayne, you missed it. It was important reasons.
Important
Right,
reason.
whatever
Important
it is.
reason. I want to point that out.
No, but
Man.
like when you think about it, now GameFound is like, obviously they're getting the business on the back end, right? They're getting the pledge manager, they're getting the stretch pay, so they're getting their slice of the pie, I guess. So that's probably why they're like, okay, well, hey, if you can go to Kickstarter and you can keep advertising that you're going to Kickstarter on our own website, as long as you keep the back end with us. But that's still, to me, that's just weird. That like, it's like, I don't know. I don't even know a good analogy of, but like, it's like you could advertise your business. You know, I sell widgets, but you can advertise your widget sales on my website. Like, what? Like that's kind of weird. It was just weird that they let them do that. But I get they may not be big enough to care, and they're keeping the back end, which is probably more or equal money.
Maybe.
I thought that was weird that they allowed that GameFound allowed them to keep advertising that they're moving to Kickstarter on their own platform. I'd be like, you go figure that out somewhere else, you know?
Right.
Like,
Right.
but I don't know.
I wonder if Kickstarter's offering any incentives now. I wonder if they're reaching out to some of these, making some side deals or offering some additional things to
That
people.
has
if
to
they
be the important reason, right?
Yeah, that's the important reason.
I
Yeah.
guess there's a lot of context that's missing in there, and context is
Mhm.
everything. So
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I also, on the flip, I would think you talked about it not being a large major company, right? And that seems to be where GameFound is working with, right? Like they're working with established larger
Right.
companies.
Yeah, you
Maybe
kinda-
they realized, hey, we're sorry. We thought we were going to let you in.
No,
but-
maybe it didn't work out.
I don't know.
Kidding.
I don't think it's necessarily bigger companies, though, Carlos. I think with GameFound, GameFound doesn't let you on their site unless it's going to fund. Like I can't find an example of a project that didn't fund on GameFound. And I feel like the companies that have tried to go to GameFound but ended up on Kickstarter are the ones that were like, is it going to fund or not fund? I feel like that's the it's not necessarily big or small. It's like, is this project fundable? If it is, then yeah, come on our site. But if it's maybe not, then no, we don't want you yet.
I honestly don't see this project not funding.
Right.
Yeah.
This is an update that a lot of people have been waiting for, especially I mean, their last rule book, there were, and I'm not exaggerating, there were literally entire paragraphs that were missing. There were paragraphs that repeated themselves, all kinds of my inside information. And I got this information, I think, from maybe it was the last Escape WinterCon. Somebody that knew the guy at Gray Fox Games said they didn't really proofread everything, and they didn't QA everything like they should have. They didn't get a like a white box print. They didn't get like a full full box. Like, typically if you're a publisher, you'll get a one box that is exactly how it's going to look when it delivers. You typically will open it up, you go through everything like you're supposed to, make sure that everything is there, everything fits like it should. You read through the rule books, and they just didn't do that. They just kind of went on the word of the manufacturer. So I think that's what kind of screwed them over. And, that could be the reason why King Raccoon isn't going with them again, which I'll be honest, if they did not go with them again, I would not be backing this one. Like, if they were sticking with Gray Fox, I would pass right over it. They are offering the updated rule book for free if you back at any level. So they do have expansions on this one. I probably wouldn't have even done that. That's how sour I am with Gray Fox Games on how they handled this one.
Yeah.
Wow. But anyway, enough of my ranting. That was the one news story that I had for tonight.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Anything else from you guys?
Oh, no, Carlos has got a short list there. Wayne posted some stuff in our private Discord chat, just some things he wanted to go over.
Not a lot of heavy news this week at all.
Yeah. The one that I thought was interesting was it was on Dice Tower News this morning also that Munchkin has announced a Shadowrun version of Munchkin. What? And I thought, I was like, oh, that's cool. All right, it's whatever. There's a version of Munchkin for basically everything now. But what kind of annoyed me, because it's just, I don't know, I get annoyed easily apparently.
Wayne's rant.
No, they're currently running a Kickstarter, right, for a super mega box of Munchkin, right? That's like a big box, right? That has like everything in it.
Except for this.
And while while that campaign is live, they announce Shadowrun Munchkin. It's like, really?
Amazing.
Like, put it in the campaign for the Kickstarter as like an add-on, or like, or wait till this is over. Like, you can't even wait for the body to be cold that you're announcing another version. Like, you got
to buy the big box, and then now you got to buy the bigger big box because this won't fit in it.
Fit this one. Now, great. Look, I mean, Munchkin's Munchkin. And like, there are people who love Munchkin. There are people who hate Munchkin. I'll play it. Like, I remember playing Munchkin fun back in the day, and like, again, if the four of us were sitting down playing Munchkin, it'd be hilarious because we'd be we'd be brutal at each other, right? It'd be fun. Like, so in the right group, Munchkin is still fun. I'll play it, but like, it just kind of annoys me that like you're currently running a giant Kickstarter campaign for this mega box of Munchkin, and you're announcing yet another version of Munchkin. Like,
can't help.
We got to remember, was the last week or week before last? I read the article about Steve Jackson Games losing money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they said they fixed it.
Yeah.
Right. For important reasons. They fixed it.
Yeah. This is how they fixed it.
This is how they fixed it.
I mean, I think I only own one copy. I own a copy of Munchkin. It's like Munchkin Cthulhu, and it's fun because it's like extra brutal, right? And it's fast, a little faster, right? And it has its place. And the comment that was on Dice Tower was also interesting. It was like, who buys this, right? Is it the Munchkin fan who has to own every version of Munchkin, or does like the Shadowrun fan go, I've always wanted a copy of Munchkin themed in Shadowrun, right? Like, like, as they come out with the different versions of Munchkin, like, what's the audience? Is it the fans of Munchkin, or is it the people who love that IP? Like, it's kind of weird, but yeah, that's true. And I remember at cons, like my buddy who owned a game store years ago, they had booths at like MegaCon and MetroCon and like Comic-Con, and sure as shit, if you not past 10 o'clock, sorry. The games they would sell the most were like the Rick and Morty games and the Munchkin and the Love Letters, or like the little IP theme games that just come out, like all the different versions of it. They would sell a ton of those at cons, and they'd sell like one copy of like Arc Nova, right? Or maybe not even sell any copies of like the big board games, but they would sell out of a ton of different copies of Munchkin and a ton of different copies of like, Rick and Morty, anything Rick and Morty. They would sell out of like a hot beat the moment it was on, so it's what sells, right? So,
Yeah.
but here we go. This is.
Yeah, slap the IP on a lot of stuff and it'll sell. So I've played. I think I've played twice in my life. I've played just the base Munchkin, so I haven't played any of the expansion stuff. And like you say, with the right crowd, with the right group of people, it's fun. But it can be brutal if you're with people who aren't really enjoying it, and it sometimes can run really long. It seems like, so I don't know.
There's going to be a point of king making where I'm tired of the game. Time for Rob to win.
Yep.
Yes. but like you have to you play the game, you have fun, and it's a social game, and we're all going to laugh and we're all going to make fun of each other. And then after maybe 45 minutes, or we're going to be all right. It's time for who's in the lead. Okay, let's
just end this thing. Yep.
Yeah.
For me, Munchkin's about the flavor, right? It's for me. It's like I have Western, I have the Space Marine one, right, where it's like it's almost like a 40K style Space Marine, and then I have the Marvel one. Like it's the flavor of those are the ones that I enjoy.
Yeah,
I don't think I've played each of them maybe once.
Yeah,
and got reminded each time. Oh, it's still Munchkin. It's
not much different. Slap a different theme on it.
But I like this flavor. It's going into the cubby.
I would say the last time I played was probably 6 or 7 years ago, where a friend of mine who is heavy into board gaming, he was like, hey, I'm going to have a couple of friends over. We're going to watch the original Conan on TV, and we're going to play Munchkin Conan.
See, that works.
Perfect setting, so of course you're given all the one-liners, as you're playing.
All the tropes from the movie or the setting.
Right. And actually the person that invited me over, he's like the perfect backstabber. Like you cannot believe a single word that ever comes out of his mouth when it comes to gaming, because he'll stab you in the back to win any game. And he basically did that the entire game of Munchkin and whooped all our butts. I mean, it was fun. It was all in good fun, but
it has
that would be the only kind of way I would want to play Munchkin. And granted, I mean, if you like Munchkin, awesome. Yeah. I think that's great. Just not my cup of tea, honestly.
Yeah.
Cool.
What else you got there?
Wayne posted this article, which was interesting to me. It's probably the last one we hit before we open up the phone lines. Kickstarter pulled down 2 high-profile tabletop campaigns this month, and here's why.
Weird reasons, but yeah.
Well, we know the one is that
this one got pulled down?
Forsaken, yeah, I think so.
Temporarily. Yeah, I think it went back up, yeah.
Whoa. Hold on a second. That was a while ago, though, wasn't it?
May 7th.
I think this maybe is a redo because this one was on there before, wasn't it?
Yeah,
right,
so it was Forsaken got pulled down on May 7th, so a week or two ago, and it was because an artist put in a complaint, a DCMA complaint that like 7 cards in the game or 10 pieces of art that in the game an artist said it's DCMA, that's mine. They can't use it. So they had to pull down the campaign, pull that out before they could put it back up.
But that campaign funded last year, didn't
I was going to say, this has got to be the second run because I think it was, a year ago they ran it the first time.
That's what it is. I think it was their second run or their late pledge got pulled down or something like that.
Oh, it's got to be their late pledge because I don't even think this game delivered yet from the first.
I think what I heard in another report was that this should not impact production. They were able to easily swap out the small amount of artwork that was called out with different artwork, and they're going to continue the production as expected. But it I think it officially got pulled off of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, like it was funded, but like they pulled the page or something temporarily while they had to pull this art out. It's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And I can see the wording there that it really didn't affect it. I almost backed this game only because, man, the table presence looks amazing with this game.
Yeah.
But considering that it was Game Tray's first game, it had me a little concerned. But I still have my eye on this one. If it gets good reviews after it delivers, I would probably be on the lookout for it personally.
Yeah. And
Were
then
you
we have
looking out for Wonders of the First? I hope you
Nope,
weren't.
and I've
Never
got
heard of that
my,
one. Yeah.
Got my feelings on that one.
Yeah.
That was TCG, man.
We've talked about that a few times, man. Like,
Yes, we have.
the fact that within 30 seconds of launch, it
Oh,
had
yeah.
$400,000 in backers. Like, come on, that's just
1 week was 1.5 million. Yeah, nice.
yeah, no.
I think everybody knows my feeling on this, but I'll reiterate. I think all these CCGs that hit Kickstarter and GameFound that make this stupid amount of money that fast, people are laundering money. That's all I can say, man.
100%.
It's
They're
they're just laundering money, man.
Well, or I think the other I agree with you, Mike. I think the only other thing is I've heard several like content creators or like people in the game industry talk about this in the last few weeks, and they basically said is the dirty news. The dirty thing behind the scene is sometimes there are like the angel backers where they're like, "Hey, Carlos, put up this campaign. I'll pledge 10 grand, and then when you get the money, you give me back my 10 grand minus the fee, and then the fee is you just give me product." Right, or whatever it is. So there's like the fact that there was within 30 seconds there was like 30 backers that all backed it at like $8 grand a pop, or something like that. It was something like or 10 backers or 20 backers that each backed it like $8 grand a pop. Hints at like this kind of like all of our friends are chipping in, and we're gonna fund it, and then we'll get money back on the back end because we can produce the game cheaper than we'll raise $1 million. Yeah, we're gonna give back 300 grand of it, but we'll get 700 grand. And we'll, maybe make less profit, but it gets the game off the boats. But I also agree with you. I use this analogy. I don't know if I use it on the show, but I don't know if it's like nationwide, but here in Florida, there is a car wash being built on every street corner in Florida. Man. Like anywhere in the state of Florida where there's like 100 square feet of property on a street corner, all of a sudden there's a car wash, and I'm like, I mean, maybe people in Florida like to keep their cars nice and clean. But good Lord, there are more car washes. Like you drive down Dale Mabry Highway is like a major highway, and like it runs through the middle of Tampa, like right through the middle of Tampa. And good Lord, you drive like 10 miles of that road, there's 30 car washes. Like really, no one needs to wash their car that much. We're the Sunshine State. We don't rust. We don't have like salt on the street. Like, give me a break. Come on, those are all fronts for like Russian mob, Chinese mob. I don't know, whatever mob they're front for.
Something shady going on.
There is some shadiness going here, and this is the reason they got pulled down, right? This CCG, it launched in April 30th, and like y'all said, in like 30 seconds they like funded. Right by the end of the week, they had like $1.5 million made on this CCG on Kickstarter. And that really brought some attention to it, right? That how fast and how much money, the kind of attention that we're talking about. But a lot of the attention the article talks about is the folks complaining about the AI artwork, right? But at the end of the day, the AI artwork is allowed, right? As long as they're using the right sources, they're telling you, they're not hiding it, it's allowed on Kickstarter. That wasn't what pulled them down. It was the inclusion of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, as part of the campaign. Some folks can buy at certain levels. It's going to give you access to NFTs for the artwork, and that's where Kickstarter had to put the kibosh. That's where the real laundering money scheme came crashing down.
Yeah, which is also crazy.
Allegedly.
That was clearly written into the Kickstarter campaign from the beginning. That like you buy these, you're buying this campaign, you're getting the digital art, which is AI art, and you're getting the NFT for it. But Kickstarter Kickstarter's complain, oh well, we don't really like fine tooth comb it before it goes live. We just give a cursory look at all these campaigns.
Wouldn't you have like a filter that says if NFT is in your description,
right.
if a red flag goes up?
Yeah, or any version of the NFT coding. Like, come on, Kickstarter, you had to know. First of all, they don't have that many campaigns that they can't have. That there's not some sweeper AI or.
Yeah.
Even just hiring somebody to like go through all these pages, like
for important reasons, this publisher put N.F.T. So that's how they got away with it. It was the dots in between the letters. The algorithm couldn't catch it.
The algorithm, yeah.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I still think Kickstarter is retroactively reacting to people's uproar over this. Like, They had no problem with it going live. They knew it had all this in there. And then when people started calling it out, they were like, well, maybe this is
the article,
too shady to let it go.
I know the excuse the article put in there is that Kickstarter said that they just the volume of new projects that are coming in now, they are having trouble with their current staffing keeping up with that volume, and that stuff is slipping through, and they're having to catch things on the second or third or fourth pass. So again, Wayne's got questions about
for
that,
forgiveness.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
what they're basically doing.
Yeah. They're like, we tried to let this go through, but y'all complained enough where we had to actually pay attention to it.
Either that or this project said, hey, look, we're getting a bunch of money that we know about. We're going to slip you a little bit on the side, you know.
And some NFTs.
Yeah, I'll give you a little NFT action.
Yeah, which will be worthless anyway. But go ahead.
Anyway.
All right, well, that gets us 30 minutes of news, of topics to get the pump primed and going. Now we turn the reins over dangerously. We turn the reins over to you. You good folks at home need to do your jobs and show up. Like this it's
show.
Activate you. Make it a call-in show. We are turning on the phone lines. 813-618-7099 is the number. Looking forward for you to call in to talk to us. Well, I already missed 2 calls because I didn't turn it on fast enough. Here we go.
Oh, there you go. 2 calls.
There we go. I'll just say
Beans and Dice Podcast. Let's answer. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Chris from Texas. How y'all doing?
Oh, Captain Gamer.
Early today.
He's all mad.
He was
Carlos.
right on the dot.
Carlos was crapping on his number 1 pick like he did on my Captain Sonar. So he's like, I'm going to call in and tell this Carlos guy what's what.
What's going on, Chris?
No. He's having remorse because he got rid of that. It's called seller's remorse.
Seller's remorse, buyer's remorse, seller's remorse.
Yeah, very similar. So, yeah, y'all have to play that sometime. Whoever has a copy over there, because I think you'll really like it. I know, Rob, you said you played it, right?
Yeah, I played 3 or 4 times, but yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Chris, for the next 10 to maybe 20 minutes, the show is yours.
Okay. And I might split some time. My son wanted to chime in, so
nice.
I don't think we've done that before, but I'll ask one question, and then he's gonna chime in and ask you guys a question.
Cool.
Okay, so my first question is, or my only question, I should say, is favorite board game expansions. And if you can list 5, great. If not, your top 3 or whatever.
5, holy crap!
Here's the deal. Like the Dice Tower will work for a week to come up with a list for a show.
We'll all say, I think we could all say one of our 5.
Generated my list I actually generated my list in the last 30 minutes.
Nope,
we're losing Chris a little bit. But I am looking around. Looking around.
Go ahead, Wayne. I know which one you're going to say. Go ahead and say it.
What am I going to say? Well, I'd say we're all going to say Prelude to Terraforming Mars, right? That's become like a bellwether where people say like this expansion is like the Prelude, right? So that's a good one. So I would say Prelude.
I've got 2 others in mind.
Champions of Midgard.
Scoundrels? Yeah,
Scoundrels of
Skullport for Lords of Waterdeep is definitely.
And my third one.
Oh, we got to guess your third one. Oh,
you got to play Champions of Midgard with Valhalla.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
You can't. You can never play Champions of Midgard without Valhalla.
That would be my top
5
3
as a group here. So we got 3. What 2 more that we all agree on? Those 3. What other 2 can we agree on?
Oh man, that's
I got to look around now too. Yeah.
Trying to get the exact name on it, but it is Concordia for me, and it is the board that adds. It's the 2-player board.
Also
Gallia and Corsica, because the Gallia and Corsica board, it adds extra coins that are always available whenever you refresh. So it's like more money. It's also the smallest board. I believe it's meant for 2 to 3 players. It's like the tightest of the boards. To me, that's a must-add to the Concordia lover, because it really then gives you that full range of the standard Concordia, 5 players, nice and enjoyable, all the way down to 2 players, still keeping it a tight game.
Nice. My next go would be Ix.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good
okay.
One. Yep. I would say the Flashpoint Fire Rescue. I'm going to remember their last expansion, or one of the last expansions, got rid of. In Flashpoint Fire Rescue, when you roll for fire spreading, there's like the hot spots and you roll the die. in one of the last expansions, it gave you a deck, like an event deck, like tragic events or like horrific something events for Clash Royale Fire Rescue, which kind of replaces that randomization and makes it a little bit more like more story driven. Which I know they're going to use that in the legacy game, so that one's up there.
James Odak actually commented there on his top 3. It looks like
X Prelude and Airships from Scythe.
Airships for Scythe. I've never played with
he's
the
big
airships.
on those airships for Scythe. Yeah, I'm not crazy about those, but I know he likes them a lot. But I got one too. I got it before I forget. Aquatica. For those who like Aquatica, the Cold Waters expansion that came out. It looks like it was the same year. Added an overlay board that changed up some of the objectives and added some more cards to Aquatica. So that's a really good one.
I don't know if you would consider it an expansion, but Tuscany is essential for.
Essential expansion. There you go.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. It's essential.
All right, so I think we named a lot. What about you, Chris? What do you got on your end for your top ones?
Okay, so my top one, and I mentioned this previously in a show. I don't know if you guys have played this, but Wingspan Oceana that adds
I would agree.
new player boards.
The Nectar.
Yeah. You can't spam the eggs. I love that you can't spam the egg strategy because that got really old. And then it just I think it balances the game. And then you have the nectar, and you have more birds. And I love the.
Hold on a second. You just mentioned something that piqued my interest, and I can see the look on Carlos's face. How does Oceania prevent spamming the eggs at the end?
It doesn't make it as viable because the nectar lets you score a lot of other things.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. I didn't think about it that way.
So it doesn't take it away. It just gives you other places to use your resources.
Right, because
that can be better.
Yeah, if you use the most nectar, or if you still have the most nectar, like there's 2 different things for that.
Different ways, and you can use a nectar for wild, which should let you play more birds and
right. Okay, all right, I like that. Continue, please.
Well, it all nerfs the eggs. The reason being is the egg track. It takes longer to build up that engine of eggs. You don't get eggs as fast. So they actually nerf the eggs, which I like.
Oh, actually nerfed.
With the board you're talking about.
Yeah. Correct. With the board itself. They changed the entire board to nerf eggs.
True.
Okay. Cool.
And it just balances the game. So that's number 1. Number 2 is Lost Ruins of Arnak Expedition Leaders.
Haven't played it yet.
Carlos and Rob haven't played it right yet.
Yeah, so. I love the.
Haven't played it correctly.
Was that okay? We played it.
That's the one we played.
Robert.
We did it wrong.
That's why I was confused.
I thought that was the newest one.
I know you are getting old and in your age of forgetting what games we've played, but we have played it.
Just not right.
Amazing.
I got to get that one to the table again.
I got to do
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your third one?
Number 3 is Western Legends Ante-Up, which I did post some pictures in the Discord today about. It just adds a lot of stuff. If you like Western Legends and you throw that in, it's just amazing. Yeah, it adds the train. You can rob the train. You get a ton of points. You get like 4 victory points.
Oh yeah.
If you rob the train. So,
now, just to clarify, because I think I've played this game once years ago. Is this the one where you can like literally just rob banks if you wanted to, or you can just go and play poker for the rest of the game?
Yep, you can mine. You can go out in the mines and get gold nuggets, and you can.
Okay. All right.
You can rob people when they're going back to trade in the nuggets.
Yep, you can steal from other people. Hold them up.
I have played this game once. Then I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good game. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right.
Okay, then number 4 is Architects of the West Kingdom, Age of Artisans. Have you guys played that?
No.
No, but what you do have me doing is pulling out my Lost Ruins of Arnak, and I'm going to set it up on the board as we talk. But carry on. You did this.
Okay. I played Architects several times, but I haven't played that expansion. What is expansion?
Yeah, that expansion adds these artisan characters that basically make you stronger. You're like good at doing various things. You get these artisans and it beefs up your actions. So when you go to this spot, you're stronger at it. You do this action, you're stronger at it. Just more ways to score points. I really like it. There's another expansion after that I like as well, but I think that one's the stronger of the 2. And then last one is the Everdell New Leaf expansion, which also adds a train station. And it adds these tickets, these golden tickets that you can cash in. You can basically take one of your workers and move it anywhere you want. take an action, and once per game, you just play it. And then it adds another little section, another market, which I think the original Everdell really needs because that refreshing in the market doesn't happen enough. This gives you another market to the side with 3 cards in it that you can choose from, and you can take cards from that market or the other market. So it gives you more options. There's other things that it throws in. It adds more variable player powers, you know, you can always play with those. So it's a very good expansion. If you just want to get base Everdell with that, it's a complete game. If you just add those 2 expansions. Base Everdell by itself is a little lacking. There's some things they could have done and improved it.
I agree.
So it makes it a complete game.
So
Yeah.
a quick question for you, Chris. Do you have Pearlbrook for Everdell?
I do. It's my least favorite expansion, though. I did not love that expansion.
Wow.
Okay.
That seems to be a popular one, but yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but there's another one called Belfair that I think's better. It just helps you gain resources easier and faster, and it's just super easy to teach and just throw in.
Okay.
I like Belfair better than that one. I technically only have 3 of the expansions, though, so I've not played all of them. But that is my least favorite, is the Pearlbrook. It's still a solid expansion. I'm just comparing to the other 2.
Sure. No, understood. Okay. Yeah, I actually have everything for Everdell, but I haven't played all the expansions yet, so I'll have to break out Belfair and see how that. What was the other one that you said that was the better one? Belfair and
New Leaf. New Leaf
New
is
Leaf.
highly recommended, but Belfair, you could play with both. I usually just play with New Leaf and Belfair, and I just throw both in.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I'll
Belfair is
try,
a cakewalk
New
to
Leaf
throw in. Okay. Great. Well, let me know what you think sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. We
Yeah,
got
got a
some
few-
more
All right.
comments
More
here,
chat here.
in the
Got,
crowd.
we got-
I know, more games to play.
Yep.
Star Wars
All
Outer
right.
Rim.
Y'all ready
Unfinished
for it?
Business says the Jim Odak.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Rob.
Oh, yeah, just hit a.
Hit a few of the comments here. We got
You
Great
kind
Western.
of muted on us there, Rob.
Yeah. Rob muted us. We got
Rob,
Great
you're
Western.
quiet. We can't
James
hear you.
Odak. Great Western Trail.
Can Rob even hear us?
Yeah.
Rob.
Probably not.
See, Chad Stilson says newly announced Expedition expansion is a must right now.
The Great Western Trail expansion, Star
Yep.
Wars Outer Rim.
Unfinished
I-
business.
Chad Stilson was Raiders of the North Sea. Has
Oh,
some
Raiders
really
of
good
the North
expansion.
Sea,
Really
yeah.
love this expansion. Star Wars Rebellion.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I think what's interesting though is Chris, what you've made me realize now is a little sadness here. Is I just sorted my BGG collection by expansions, and there's 301 expansions listed in my collection. I scrolled through all of 301 expansions. Now, granted, a lot of it's like little micro expansions and little cards and promo cards and stuff, right? But like, I just scrolled through the 300 of them, and I'm like, almost none of these are necessary.
Yeah.
They're all like, but like we've mentioned a lot of the
Kyle says we're missing
Mr.
his.
Jeeves.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
his
showed it
Leviathan
earlier.
expansion.
Leviathan.
Okay, Leviathan.
I showed that one earlier.
Leviathan,
Mr.
yeah.
Jeeves. We should. Yeah, we got you out
There we
there.
go.
The
Well, the chat.
Go ahead, Chris. What do you got?
Go ahead, man. Sorry, I was going to say the chat mentioned Raiders of the North Sea. I did forget about that one. Hall of Heroes to me is essential
Yes.
Okay.
for Raiders.
I
of the
haven't
North
played with
Sea.
that one.
Yeah. It changes the game. It definitely makes the game better.
I mean, it's not an essential expansion, but really Mansions of Madness. Just all of the expansions to that.
Everything.
Everything Mansions of Madness is just
That's a given.
a
Please
necessary
be.
thing.
That's what I say when we talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a Phil Walker Harding game. You're not allowed to say praise be.
The hell I can't.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
All
Sounds
right,
like you want to
Chris.
hand off the reins to your child there, right?
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's excited. So he's got a couple questions for you guys. All right.
Long time
That's it.
listener, first time caller.
Bring it on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
So, what are your favorite superheroes?
Oh.
Ooh, favorite superhero.
Who wants to go first?
Gosh, so-
Batman. It's got to be Batman.
You a Batman
you?
guy, Wayne?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
Batman,
cool.
100%. Because he's a normal everyday guy, right? Granted, he's got a couple $1 billion in the bank, but
Mm.
he has no real superpowers, and he's able to do a whole lot of stuff. So yeah,
All right, cool.
I'm with Wayne. I cannot stand the Superman typical
Whoa,
hero.
All right, see, now
Whoa,
we're
hey,
now
now.
we're gonna
Yeah,
throw
now we're
down
having
here in
problems,
a
'cause I'm
moment.
Superman's still
Great.
great.
Loathe. If you have that much power, who can really be your enemy, right? Batman is emotionally broken, a human, susceptible to failure of technology. That's why I think Batman is the better hero.
Okay.
No, I'm taking
Alright.
Superman over Batman. Go ahead, Mike.
You would, because he's a super, like, unstoppable.
Well,
he
he
shoots
is a super-
lasers
He is
from
a
his eyes.
superhero. Is
We're
Batman
getting
a superhero? Really?
Spider-Man is definitely hot. Hey,
Spider-Man's up
Doctor
there.
Doom is a villain. He's not a superhero.
Well,
So Superman is mine, and the reason is, and some of the younger folks out there listening, I'm going to age myself here a little bit. I grew up on the Christopher Reeves Superman
yeah.
movies,
I did too.
and I still think, in my opinion, granted the special effects haven't held up, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, Superman, the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeves, or the Donner cut of Superman 2, those are the greatest superhero movies out there, with Dark Knight being a close second. The first,
100%.
yeah. So anyway,
100%.
I think it gives it's a little long in the tooth, but it gives one of the greatest introductions to a superhero starting out as a child all the way through manhood. And yes, I mean, Superman's got a ton of power, and they started getting a little ridiculous with the powers in the movies over time. And that's the problem with superheroes that are quote unquote invincible. Is that, okay, great, you beat the robbers up this time. Oh, great, you defeated this guy this time. When is it going to end? And I can understand that. But in my opinion, Superman, top of the list for me.
Hey, he's got his kryptonite. I mean, come on.
I think Spider. That's just like DC. As far as Marvel, I would definitely go Spider-Man as well. But I will throw a shout out because my wife's a massive Wonder Woman fan. She cosplays Wonder Woman all the time, and I have a little special place in my heart for him because we've met George Perez, who was a famous comic book guy, and he was did the quintessential Wonder Woman comic in like the 70s and 80s. So kind of have a soft spot for Wonder Woman as well. And I think Gal Gadot in the first Wonder Woman movie was like perfect.
Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah.
Agree. Good
All
one.
right. So I'm sorry, what was your name on the phone?
Isaiah.
Okay.
Isaiah. Yeah.
When you get a chance, if your dad will let you, definitely watch the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeves, and you will see. Ignore the special effects. You can laugh at them all you want. I fully appreciate that, but that is a movie that I think every superhero fan should see in their lifetime.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's a good suggestion.
I'm
Rob?
looking, try to find real quick what year that was, but
I think it was 79?
29.
78. Superman. 78.
Okay, there you go.
Yep, there it is.
I
just
wasn't
found it.
even a twinkle in my daddy's eye.
Yeah. Well, Superman again. That was going to be mine. I agree with everything Mike said. Mike actually said it really well. I did grow up with the Superman movie, and again, he is a super powered superhero. I mean, has everything that I wanted my superhero. Can fly, lasers out the eyes, whatever. So he flew around the. I don't want to spoil. I would say,
Yeah,
don't
spoil it now.
Don't spoil everything.
That's the big reveal, man. You can't do
all
that.
right, sorry. It's too soon.
Sorry,
too
Isaiah.
soon.
Sorry.
1978.
Too soon.
Too soon. Anyway,
What-
but no, I agree. 100%.
What
I'm sorry.
games would you what games would you like to have superheroes in?
Oh.
All right. Well, how about I talk about games that have superheroes that I like. For me, it's Marvel United. Like that to me is the quintessential set of superheroes. The cooperative nature, the 45 minutes or less nature of the game, the system that escalates depending on what expansion you use. You can go very basic, very enjoyable night with the kids, all the way up to much more complex and enjoy it with adults. Marvel United is the game with superheroes that I like the most.
Sweet. I would love to see a superhero game that uses the Mansion of Madness mechanics. If there could be
wow.
like an app-driven game where you're still building the city out with all the tiles, and you're busting through walls, and you can use your X-ray vision or whatever to see through this wall. And I would love to see a game using that system.
That would be cool.
Mic drop by Mike. Done.
He's out.
Done.
All right, show. We're done.
We're done.
I'm going to
Good night,
contact my
all.
publishers, and we'll make that happen.
That's it.
Okay.
Make your people with his people. And, yeah.
He's a plant for big gaming. I told you.
Sign me up for that one, man. That'd be awesome. Because I love I was gonna say with Mike is I love role playing games. I love I mean, you can see all the RPG books behind me, and it's hard to do a good superhero role play game, right? I've done it a few times, but oftentimes either the villains are too powerful or the characters are too powerful. But like a Mansions of Madness style game or like a Gloomhaven type game with superheroes where you start young and build up.
Oh yeah,
That would
cool.
be kind of cool.
yeah.
That'd be
All right. Well, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say a dice game. I'm going to say Dice Throne. All the superhero games that are out there, Dice Throne, putting those abilities into the Yahtzee mechanic and kind of pairing them up with the different superheroes that they've done in. They've done what, Marvel, and have they done DC in that yet, or have they announced that they're doing DC?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, but maybe they will. They got the X-Men set coming out. We're really excited for. Isaiah and I play Dice Throne all the time.
Dice Throne's
Nice.
my favorite game.
Hey,
sweet.
nice
There you
job.
go.
Sweet.
First
did we ask
being
guys-
your second favorite game?
Did we ask Isaiah what his favorite superhero was? I don't know that we turned it back on him, did we?
I don't think we did. No, we didn't.
My favorite superhero, my first favorite is Captain America, and my
Nice.
second one is Colossus.
Oh, very cool.
I like it.
Nice, good choices.
Yeah, nice stuff, Isaiah.
You're starting them off
Cool.
right, Chris.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
starting them off right.
Yeah, we're doing our best. It's funny because I didn't even tell him about Colossus. He knows I like Colossus, but those are my top two. He knows Captain America is my number one, and he said that. I was like, man, like father, like son, right there. Those are my top two.
Squeeze. Proud tears.
The original 4-player X-Man stand-up arcade machine.
Oh man,
I
hours.
always picked Colossus to be. I love that guy, man. He would do that, every time that he would power up.
How was
Oh,
that again?
Let me hit record. Let me hit record.
Yeah, Colossus, Wolverine, and Storm.
Yeah,
Oh,
Storm.
yes.
That was the other one, Storm.
Yeah.
Oh, that game is so much fun.
That was awesome.
Yep.
You need to port that over into some gaming system. That game is so much fun. I know it's not the same as the arcade, but
MAME. You can use
Yeah.
MAME and play it. You can download the entire.
it's
Old emulator.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool,
Cool.
guys. Do you have any other questions for Isaiah?
No,
No,
Isaiah,
I'm just glad to hear you gaming.
Yeah. We can say I First Rat is really up on my list. I've been playing it a ton lately, so I'm glad you're enjoying it, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Perfect first call, I think.
All right, guys.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
First time caller. First time caller. Great to meet you, Isaiah. Chris, as always, a pleasure.
I'm always bringing the hard hitting
Same
questions.
here, guys.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah,
great week
same
if we
here.
don't talk
Thank
to
you.
you again. We'll see you on the Discords.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Chris. Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
My man Chris with the calls, folks, with the
we got a
calls.
double.
Phone lines are open, 813-618-7099.
Was a double
Chris
2 in
got
one
me
there.
thinking Arnak, bro. He got me all over
Good,
Arnak.
man. Carlos broke that out. Like
You are
no
the
tomorrow,
most
man.
suggestible person I've ever
Yeah,
met.
he's so impulsive, isn't he?
However,
Ooh, shiny red ball.
present Carlos has to have a conversation with
With
past
past Carlos.
Carlos.
Yeah.
Because-
let's not even go there.
Oh, look at that.
I'm
Short
cur-
crap. Good
I'm
luck.
currently sorting all the pieces.
What a surprise!
You
What a
deserve that.
surprise!
I'm shocked. I'm not really shocked at all.
I almost put it back. I
Another
almost
caller?
put it back. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Da, 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 da.
I know who that is.
baby.
Da,
I know that.
da, 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 da.
Hot Atlanta, where you at?
It is one of the greatest films in cinematic history.
Yes. I
There
knew
you
I
go.
had other people out
disagree.
there that loved that movie.
I don't know about that, but it's a great movie.
Right up there with Raiders
That
of the Lost
and
Ark.
that and the Donner cut of Superman 2.
Man, Ron,
They're
you and me,
great
buddy.
work together.
You and me.
You, Mike, on a wavelength.
And I have something else to say about Superman. You folks that you bury Superman. He has all these powers. How can you challenge him? Do you realize that it is a even greater achievement to write a compelling story for somebody like that?
True.
Batman's easy. He's a human being.
He's a messed up dude
with weaknesses.
Yeah.
He's a messed up dude with problems. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great Batman stories.
Oh yeah.
But when you can a great story with Superman, not worth cooking. In my opinion, it's a very strongly held opinion.
No, I'm with you, Ron. Because
How
even
you guys doing?
good, man. I would say so. Two of the most people can say Batman and Spider-Man. Probably 60% of the people say a total would be those are my two favorite. Well, they're your two favorite because they also have the greatest villains, right? Like Batman and Spider-Man have a villains gallery,
Would you like to use
rogues
the
gallery.
hands-free system? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
That was automatic.
But so Batman and Spider-Man have the greatest villains rogues gallery, right? Superman has Lex Luthor is a great villain. After that,
Don't even go there, man.
They're not
Come
the best
on.
villains.
He is the best. He's the best villain, just like Batman is the best hero because Lex Luthor has no powers. He's just rich,
No, exactly what I'm saying,
and
but
he's got a
one,
brain.
right? Batman has a million villains. I'm agreeing with Ron. When you write a really good Superman story, it's great because not only is he hard to write, he also just has crappy villains that aren't really that great to write about. But a really good Superman story is hard to write.
Right. Yeah, it's true. They had to give him magic as a weakness to give him something okay, so I can see that, but
what was that one villain's name? Pixelplex or whatever?
Mr. Mixelplex.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah. So it's been a few weeks since I've called in. I've been on the road, family stuff, fun stuff. But
does that fun stuff include board games?
Yeah, it includes a specific card game that I've talked about from time to time on the podcast. I'm not going to get too much into it, but last weekend I was in Cleveland for an event called the Grand Gathering. It is the largest gathering of Super Show players every year.
Nice.
And so, it was 120 or so folks, and they had tournaments all weekend, but it was just a ton of fun. Playing with friendly, casual games, and I had a ton of fun. But I've also been just kind of doing stuff. I have family. I've been running. I run a role playing game on Thursday nights as well. So I run the One Ring. So that's been keeping me busy. But for some reason my phone is just not. It doesn't want to connect to any Bluetooth thing. But anyway, I enjoyed the Chris and his son and the topics and everything like that. But real quick on those topics. So Superman and Captain America are my two favorite heroes. X-Men 97 is a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite superhero game right now is Marvel United, followed closely by the Sentinels of the Multiverse system, which I only play in the app these days. A game that Mike had the most excellent answer to the question of which game would you like to marry to a superhero theme? I would love to see that. I would love to see that as well.
Fantasy.
I never
Flight.
thought about it until he said it, and the moment he said it, it's like, okay, I'm internalizing that.
Like
Fantasy
Mike,
Flight
yeah.
does not have to pay me any royalties if they want to make that game. I'm
You want
happy.
to do it? Yeah?
Just do
All
it.
right.
they could print money with that
Right.
game.
Yeah, but the thing that I wanted to talk about is on a note related to Marvel United. There's a group of fans that have made a homebrew print and play expansion for Marvel United called TMNT United.
Oh man.
Oh, Ninja Turtles.
Yes. And so, like, I found out about it after they did the first group buy. And so I subscribed to the Board Game Geek forum, got in on a second buy. So I bought the base game components in their first expansion. And so I've been playing just the main turtles in the Shredder scenario, Shredder scenario, and then there's a Search for Splinter scenario. That's all I've played so far. But, like, they have the 4 turtles and some other characters like The Last Ronin, Casey Jones, April, Splinter, and, like, about half a dozen villains. But so far, I've been enjoying the mess out of that. And I'm so glad that I found out about it. And it's reinvigorated my love for that system. Because the thing is that, like, there's a lot of stuff for Marvel United.
Yeah.
And, like, it could be really overwhelming if you did what I did, which was take everything apart and just kind of, like, store stuff in big containers. I kind of wish I would.
Carlos is giving you the eye.
Mistakes were made. Like the desire to sit that game out is probably gone, knowing that you got to sift through that pile of yes.
Yeah. So, well, I thought it was a brilliant idea at the time.
You say he's just like me pouring this game back in the box when I was done. I thought it was a brilliant idea at the time.
Amazing.
Yeah, but so, well, I mean, you know how it is. I mean, you get like half a dozen boxes. I backed the X-Men United Kickstarter. Not at the everything level, but at a high enough level where I ended up getting like 6 or 7 boxes of content, which still was plenty. And so yeah, just tried to find a solution that would save space. And what I did was just created a new problem. But anyway, it's a great game, and I'm glad that there's a group of folks with a passion for turtles and the Marvel United system to blend them together. So that's on the board game front. That's what I've been having a ton of fun with.
Nice.
And a side note, if I didn't mention this before, X-Men '97 season 1,
Masterpiece.
fantastic, masterpiece. What else?
So Ron,
yeah.
let me jump in. So X-Men '97. Now I watched the X-Men religiously when I was a kid. The '97. I started watching the first episode and it just didn't grab me. I've seen other people reviewing it saying it takes 3 or 4 episodes before it really gets going. Do I need to watch 3 or 4 episodes before it's going, or am I missing something in that first episode?
I was hooked from the get-go, so I suggest just binge it. Just binge it. I'm not sure what
What's wrong with Wayne? Yeah, it's a Wayne problem. Oh, Ron's saying.
But it's at the first episode doesn't. It's a multi-parter anyway. So like, the first episode is I believe it's I want to say it's a two-parter. So at least go back, watch episodes 1 and 2 back to back if you can, which shouldn't be not a big ask.
Yeah.
That's an hour total. And go from there, because I mean it really is. It's the best thing that Marvel Studios has produced since Avengers Endgame, in my opinion.
Wow.
There's some things that I've liked since Marvel Endgame. Don't get me wrong, but like this is the stuff that the kind of content that I've really wanted, expected that Marvel Studios would produce. What else? Yeah, so like as far as expansions that were quote unquote needed, or just like give a significant boost to a game, I'm sure I've talked about this before, with Star Wars Outer Rim, unfinished business, for me, made a good game into a great game. Western Legends, Ante-Up, less so. Because I enjoyed the base game as it was. But the train, being able to ride a train, I mean, it's a Western game. That has to be in there somewhere, right?
You would think.
Also, yeah. So that was my answer to those questions. Chris is driving the conversation.
That's
Somebody's got to.
Carlos is too busy sorting his games.
Still working.
Yeah. So good topics tonight. I'm glad I was able to call in. Looking forward to my next big board game event to attend is Atlanta Game Fest. A couple of hundred people, but like I always have a good time there playing games and stuff. So
what is that?
So that's in June. That's like first or second week. It's somewhere around mid-June. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I used to be the host for board game events, and that just is not in the cards of this season of life.
That ship has sailed.
For a multitude of reasons. Yeah. At least for the time being.
Super Show's got your heart.
Also, I just don't. It's easy to play that game because it's just a card game. I pull out a couple of decks and play. But also, I just don't feel like I just don't feel motivated to go out to somebody else's location to go to a board game meetup and start meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta just because of where I am mentally. I mean, I lost my twin brother back in February and everything, and so that's played into it a little bit.
It's a lot more than you think. I lost my brother in 2020, and he wasn't even a twin, so I can't even imagine. I just know that it's rough for a while, like getting back into the rhythm.
Yeah, so that's just where I am right now. I am enjoying the things that I have the motivation to really get into. Because, playing board games, that could really be depending on the level of, how complex the board game is. And also, for me, I have to go to someplace new. To some event that's new and like meet new people and establish new relationships. And I ain't there. Not right now.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I'll put you on my prayer list, brother.
I appreciate that. Well, all right, guys. I've been on this phone long enough. You guys have a great one. I'll just hang up and listen to the rest of the show.
All right. It was good hearing your voice
Great
again,
call.
Ron. Glad you
good
called
to hear
in.
you, Ron.
Great hearing, man.
All right. Take care.
Have a good night. All right.
Good night, Ron.
Look at that, man. Chris is setting the show up here
He
for
is.
Yeah.
people to call in. I love it.
See, the thing is, he likes to do that at the end of the show. I think we need to like make an ask of big gaming there, and ask that he call in earlier
First,
to
'cause that's
prime the
set for
pump.
everyone else, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ron brings up a good point, man. Sometimes life events throw you off of the pleasures of like gaming is still a privilege, right? Like we don't always get the game, right? And like COVID, deaths in the family, new jobs, travel, like my kid's soccer season, right? As mundane as like my kid's soccer season, right? But as crazy more life events like the loss of a brother, man, it can really just throw you off, and it's hard to kind of like sometimes it's hard to get back on that horse of understanding that the game is an escape from the everyday, and it's something that we can enjoy. And sometimes you're not right in that spot for it. So I appreciate that. It's a valid point. It took a long time for me to get the pleasure of gaming back. At some points in my life too.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's also it's in the same way that we budget gaming in. It's a luxury, so it does take second fiddle to family, to work, to other priorities. So and then you feel like I won't say guilty, but
I don't.
Yeah,
don't feel guilty, man. Come on.
Well, for missing
I feel
it,
that.
for not playing, for not gaming, I feel like wow, that's my thing. Like I should be putting more attention to it, but I just can't right now.
No, but I think Mike, like I'll say this: there are times where like there's a game day, right? It's a Saturday game day, and it's like, well, my kid has a soccer game, right? Or I have stuff to do around the house or whatever, and like even my wife would be like, your kid has 35, 40 games in a season. You can miss one, right?
Yeah, go play.
I agree with that.
Right? No, but I won't, right? I'll just be like, no, I gotta go to this game, right? Like, but sometimes you get in that mindset of that. Like, it's hard. Like, you feel guilty about skipping out on something to go enjoy yourself and get your own sort of mental health or game day or just enjoyment in.
Right.
Because I'm like, well, no, I gotta do that. Yeah. So it's hard sometimes to like prioritize yourself, prioritize your own enjoyment, your own hobbies.
Yeah, my wife is great with that. She'll tell me, she's like, you know what, you're grumpy. Go play games. Go to the game day. Get out of the house. You're bringing everybody down. Just go do it.
I like you better, Robert, when you're not here.
Man,
exactly.
I'd be walking around like a bear all day. Then.
Yeah. Like, all right, okay, I'll go. No problem.
Yeah. It is good. I think that like my wife's similar. She'll be like, no, go. Stop being dumb. Go play games, right?
I think the four of us are pretty lucky with our spouses and how lenient they are with go and do your thing. You guys have your thing.
Yes.
So I agree. Mr. G says that's a good wife. I agree. That's a good wife. I mean,
didn't even cost him a dog and a kid.
Oh, shout outs and congratulations are in order.
That's true. I think
to our
Mr. G's
man.
gotta call in. Kyle's supposed to call in tonight.
Yeah, you gotta call Kyle.
Big announcement in the Shameless Plugs. I don't know, it was weird. Shameless Plugs channel. Kyle, Mr. aka Mr. Jeeves, shouted out that his new baby girl showed up.
Whoop, whoop.
And I believe this is kid number 4. Kyle, tell me if I'm wrong. I believe it's 4. It's 3 or 4.
It should be kid number 3. Last. Is what it should be.
No. Never stop. Never stop populating the world with gamers.
Dude, have you seen the world's population lately?
Hey, the world's population. But
No.
we need number 3.
It's the
number
world's
3.
population,
Number 3, there you
dude.
go.
Come on. Number 3. Stop.
But who's
going
to pay for your Social Security when you're old if Kyle and I don't keep making kids?
3
like if Kyle and I didn't have all these kids
in this world because of overpopulation, what difference does it make?
Have you not flown over America? There's plenty of land here. We're getting deep.
That is a very close-minded view of that. So
I'm making future gamers, baby. I'm making future gamers. Congratulations, Kyle.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's awesome. I thought it was 2. That's 3. I was,
I was thinking either 2 or 3. Yeah, but I thought it was 3.
4 will come with his purchase of
Purchase of a Coco.
And you gotta hold out. You gotta hold out for a game table. Like for 4, it's like I need a game. I need like a what's the?
It's got to be up there. Oh,
what's
the
that?
Wormwood.
I need a Wormwood game
Wormwood, there you
table
go.
with like a $600 crokinole board.
No.
And,
All the accessories.
That ain't enough for me, brother. I'd kill myself if I started over again with another kid right now.
No.
It's not that hard. It
is.
it really keeps
yeah?
you young.
Oh, but no,
it
Come
keeps you
talk to me
young.
when you turn
Nope.
50, and we'll see if that's
No, I
hard.
will. Like
Done.
I always tell this as a cautionary tale. I grew up. My brother is 7 years older than me. He had a friend of ours from our neighborhood. This guy Steven. He got out of college, got married, had a couple of kids quick, and that was it. They were done. Right? Had a vasectomy, got it all taken care of.
Perfect.
He turned 50 like during the pandemic. Wife's pregnant. It's like what?
Whoops.
I
How
got
did
some
that
questions.
How did that happen?
I got some
He's like-
questions.
I need to know the
He's like,
context.
what happened? So it undid itself. Like 1 in 10,000 vasectomies.
Hey,
will
hey,
undo
Jurassic
themselves.
Park. Life will find a way.
Yeah. So he's like a 40. No, it wasn't 50. He was like 40 something, 48-year-old guy with like a kids going to college. They're all out of the house.
Oh,
and a
man.
newborn.
I'd have some serious life choices to be thinking about at that point, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'll keep.
Kyle,
I'll
Mr.
hold
Jesus,
down the
Kyle,
fort.
What's the mailman look
Yep.
like? Yeah, no, it was...
Question.
No, but this was just science. You know, sometimes that little snip doesn't.
They
stay
tell you
snip.
that when you, I mean, not that I've had myself snip, but when you go, they tell you there is a very
like
slim
1 in
chance that it
10,000
will
or
fix
1 in
itself.
20,000 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Life will find a way.
Life finds a way.
Was it that Ian Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Life finds a way.
That was good,
Is that how
brother.
he said it? Yeah,
That was good.
By the way, that's amazing for 70 or something. He's in his early
yeah.
late 60s, early 70s.
man,
Jeff
he looks
Goldblum
pretty
looks
good.
pretty good for himself. Yeah.
All right, back to board games. Enough
Back
of
to
this
board games.
talking
Mr.
about
G is
having
calling
kids.
in. He's got to call in.
Get
now.
some more news, Carlos,
Giving
right?
me the heebie-jeebies over here, man.
No, there's a
I'm
few more
tapped.
articles in that Discord.
Oh,
I know there
go
was
ahead.
the
Carlos
well, I
had a
don't
few.
remember everything off the top of my head, but if somebody can bring up the He-Man, they're going to bring that stateside. I guess that they had released it overseas, and now they're going to be. Is it going to be? It's crowdfunding. It's GameFound. Is that the one? I think it was GameFound.
Yeah,
that
it's
they're
on
gonna be putting on.
GameFound, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Oop,
Oh,
got a
it looks
call.
like we
Got
might have a
another
call.
Nice.
Save us.
Beans and Ice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Kyle from Chicago.
Hey, there's Kyle.
Kyle.
Wepa! My man. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. I got tired of typing, and I'm like, I might as well just call in.
There
Otherwise,
you go.
Yeah, that's what
There
we
you go.
want. Good man.
Congratulations on number 3, my friend.
Yeah.
thank you. I'm a special kind of stupid.
That's what I said at 3.
What does that make
Carlos?
Carlos?
At the end,
In unison.
the king of them. The king of them. I still got Vassal to reach to. Like, Vassal's at like, what, 8?
Oh man.
So,
Tom
so
Vassal?
is it 2 boys and a girl or 2 girls and a boy?
It's 2 boys, and the newest is a girl.
There you go. So
Nice.
Nice.
see, he did it right because he's got the 2 older boys.
right to look
he,
out.
He can look out for the little girl. So
Yep,
he-
agreed.
he's gotta-
So what else
Isn't
is
that
going
what
on,
Carlos
man?
did? Doesn't he have like 3 boys, a girl, and then a boy?
Yep. I
Nailed it.
I always said it takes a man to make a boy. I had a lull there. I kind of, I guess, 2020. I must have been weak. I had a girl, and then back to making boys.
You guys talk and started making me realize I'm like shooting my goals way too low. It's like
no pun
I
intended.
got cast as a burgundy.
Sorry, man. It's after hours. We're allowed to
It's
talk
after
like
2 o'clock
that.
Eastern. Yeah,
I'm all about it. I took for Castles of Burgundy special edition. I had to give the wife a puppy and a baby, and you guys are like, well, why go for the gaming table? I'm like, what am I doing? I should be asking for more.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been
I
doing
asked for a
horrible
gaming room.
Yeah.
It's like, I won't.
that might be pushing my luck with that. The wife already told me, she's like, "You're not getting a gaming room. The kids are getting a playroom." I'm like, "Oh, come on."
That's part of
gaming
the playroom.
room,
What are you talking about?
If you teach them how to play board games,
Yeah.
and gaming room and kids room are the same thing.
Wife and I were having this discussion today. I'm like, putting the kids in the same room together makes better adults because they learn how to deal with other people. Like, you know, you can't.
Sure, whatever.
I can't argue with that. I would agree
True.
with that, Carlos.
My man. So,
All right.
Kyle,
Well,
you don't normally have a lot of free time on Thursday nights. I know you've been busy a lot lately.
No.
It seems like tonight you
I've
had
been
some
late
free
to the
time.
show a bunch.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, I'm out walking the dog right now, so it's the perfect time to call in.
There you go.
Smart man.
Wait,
Agreed.
the dog you got for your wife, you have to walk it too?
He's going for the expansion.
Oh,
man.
All right, let's talk board games. Enough
Yeah.
with kids and crap.
Yeah.
Come on. What have you been
God.
playing lately,
Hey,
man?
come on here to think about my life, making me regret my decisions. I want to talk about things that I can't do, like board games.
There.
There you go.
I want to talk crokinole, fellas.
Yes.
I want to
Yeah,
talk
buddy.
crokinole.
Okay. Looking at some new boards.
So I'm backing it right now.
Mayday.
Good for
And
you.
and Wayne and I were chatting, and he showed me what was the video you showed me?
The board game rundown had West. I forget the guy's last name. He was on last night, and which is interesting. So a couple weeks. So background is a couple weeks ago, board game rundown had the guy from Mayday Games on to promote the Kickstarter for Crokinole boards, and then last night they had the guy West on to promote a new game that he's kickstarting, and it went into the Crokinole boards, and he just went on this 10-minute rant about like the Mayday boards and their crap, and don't bother with those. If you're gonna get into Crokinole, go buy yourself a
Solid.
no, like some Jerry board or whatever. I forget the name of it now. And it's like a
I
300.
forgot the name of it. It's a popular.
Yeah, Terry boards or
Lacy
something. Anyway, it's
board?
very
Yeah.
popular. It's one of those. He's like, it's like a 3 or 350 for a board. He's like, it's so much better. The play surface is, whatever. And he's like, it clearly, and it's like, so then Kyle and I were talking about how like there's the hardcore Crokinole people,
Right.
right? And then there's just the everyday schmuck like me, right? Because I'm a schmuck. Right?
Like us. What are you
Like
talking
us,
about?
right?
I'm in that
And
group.
like and so now but it really had me second guessing whether, and I think Kyle too is like, do we keep this Mayday backing or not? Like, what's the deal? So Kyle, go ahead, finish.
No, yeah,
Well,
it's Tracy boards, right? I think
Tracy,
it's
there you
Tracy boards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I remember. So I was watching that video while I was at work, and I didn't he say he's like buddies with the guy who runs Tracy boards? So I'm almost feeling like he's a little biased.
A little bit.
Is that
He
what
did say
said?
he's bought 3 or 4 boards from them, so he's gotten to know the guy.
Sure.
And I've watched the guy's videos. He's got awesome videos on how to play, how to practice, strategy,
Oh, wow.
all that stuff out of Canada.
So this guy
Canada.
is hardcore.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think my biggest conflict is like I don't feel like I'd be playing it enough that like to that point where I'm getting like competitive. I'm like holding tournaments or something. I don't think I could justify the $300-something purchase. And I'm almost wondering if Mayday is just good enough. And I know that you said that Carlos and Mike both have Crokinole, the Mayday
Mine's
Crokinole.
right over my shoulder there.
I got 2 of them
Of course,
Yep.
Carlos stores his the wrong way, but that's okay.
on the floor.
On the
Yeah,
floor,
you're
on
not
the
supposed
side.
to be doing that, man.
Yeah,
Well, when it fell off the wall, there's
Where did it go?
Oh my god!
the screws on
Well,
the
if it fell
back.
off the wall, it sounds like it's durable.
Well, the screws on the back came out, so there's some issues there with the construction right off the bat. All right,
How
so
old
this
is
is
yours?
these are my third boards. I had an original board that I had, and it was like an $80 board, $85 board that I got off of like Amazon or something. And I'll tell you what, the step up to the $100 Mayday board was a huge improvement off of that. Right. So what I found is that there's a huge gap between the Mayday boards and their quality and anything below that. Right. So any entry level thing you're going to find on Amazon as a consumer, anything in the $80, $75, $60 range, there's a huge difference in the quality of these boards. Mayday's a step above all that, period. Right. But then there's Mayday and up. Right. And to me, I don't play enough Crokinole to justify putting a $350 board on the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I have played on these boards because they do hold them at Dice Tower. There's a Dexterity Alley or something at Dice Tower East.
And they have the better quality boards.
Oh, man. These things, they are spit shined, like
they're like
smooth as
$500.
glass.
They're like I think they're even bigger than the Tracy boards because the Tracy boards are still MDF and plywood and veneer, just like the Crokinole ones. And the difference,
they are.
Yeah. So that was the question that I asked. I in the chat in the board game rundown. I said, well, the Mayday boards are MDF with veneer and plywood on the outside, and these Tracy boards are the same thing. And the guy basically said, well, the difference is that the Mayday boards they're mass produced in China factories.
Agreed.
Right? The Tracy boards are handmade in Canada, right? So it's like, they're much more attention to detail. They're not mass produced.
Okay.
So yes, it's the same materials, but maybe the veneer is a little thicker or whatever. Dice
The
Tower
polish on the veneer is to me the biggest difference.
Biggest difference. The Dice Tower boards, which were phenomenal, there weren't even Tracy boards. They were like solid wood, like polished, like through and through solid wood boards that like.
I worked at a roller rink for I don't know, like 10 years, and we maintained our hardwood floor with polyurethane. Like it was like that. It was like thick layer of coating on the board where it was like ice. Those pucks those buttons just floated across. Whereas on the Mayday board, you can still feel the grain of the veneer. So it is nowhere near as slick. You're not going to get that slick. But you know what? If you're not competing, you're playing for fun with family, $100, you can't beat that.
Yep, and they are providing a wax to put a layer of wax.
They got
on
wax.
boards.
They got the dust that you can
the speed wax,
the powder that you can also use.
And I read somebody post a little review. I don't think it was that old of the Mayday boards, and they had the issue with like the texture and stuff. And the guy said that he basically just waxed it like repeatedly and got like kind of smoothed it out to a comfortable level. Obviously not to the extent of like a nice board, but it was definitely more manageable than when you initially get the board, that texture.
If I could comment on it, so I've had mine since I think it was the last Escape WinterCon that I went to. That you
never fell off that spot?
Nope. I bought it secondhand, although I believe the guy before me didn't use it. I've used it multiple times. I've never waxed it. I've never done anything to it except for add the rubber bumpers on the middle with the screws. Here's what I have to say about it. If you've got $300 that's burning a hole in your pocket that you don't care if you spend it on a high quality board, spend the $300. I'm not going to lie to you. If you want something that you, like Carlos said, you can break out when family's over or during the holidays, or if it can take a little bit of abuse and you really aren't going to be worried about it, the $100 for the Mayday board is money well spent, because I hear, I know you can wax it and all that. I've never done any of that to it. And the pucks, there's like a more flatter side to the puck, and there's a more like where it has almost like a slight dimple to it where it moves a little bit easier. I've never noticed the difference. Now, granted, I think I probably need to get a little bit of powder that you can add. Is it silicone?
I think I ordered it from him, the speed powder, that Tracy guy.
Speed powder.
I think I ordered it. Yeah, they call it speed powder. I ordered it from Canada. It's just granulated wax. It's all it is.
Right.
It comes in a baggie, looks like cocaine, and you just you can put it in like a Parmesan cheese container
Shaker.
style, and just shake it on the board, and then. What I do is I keep a paintbrush, like an unused paintbrush, house brush, and you can use that to kind of collect it in the corner, like brush it into the corner, and then you can rub your button on it, and then just shoot away. You don't sprinkle. You don't. Hey now. Hey. Okay. So Mike talks about waxing it all day, and you shut your mouth and stay quiet.
You got to rub your button on it.
But the speed wax isn't intended to be thrown on the board. You're not putting speed wax on the board. You're kind of rubbing
You're putting the duck.
Thanks,
you're putting
Rob.
your puck in
Your
it.
button.
Your button in it. So anyway, in the long run, I personally,
you guys are mixing me up.
yeah. I've spent some
We're
stupid
talking
money
about Crokinole,
on
right?
yeah, we
Yeah,
are
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
back to
Crokinole.
Crokinole.
Carlos may be talking about something else.
Rubbing his butt in something.
I've spent stupid money on board games before. The Crokinole board that I have doesn't get enough play where I feel the need. Like 300, it's not that $300 board is not going to be 3 times better, or I won't be able to notice it 3 times as much playing on a board like that as compared to this one.
So
I can pretty much guarantee that if you got a bad board from Mayday from this Kickstarter, they're going to send you a replacement. I mean, Mayday's been around. I mean, they do sleeves, they do games, I think they stand behind their product where you don't have to worry about getting a warped board that you can't call them and have it fixed, by them sending you a replacement.
Yep.
I think they're going to stand behind their product. And I mean,
especially with the success of it. I mean, it's doing really good right now.
Right. And this is like what, the 8th Kickstarter that
something
they've
like
done?
that, 6, 7, 8, something.
Yeah.
They've done a
Something
bunch.
in there. It's not like their first rodeo here. So
I think so. Like I priced it all out. So I'm a backer as well. I backed the mahogany veneer board with a carry case, upgrading the pegs, and like an extra set or 2 of the pucks.
cool.
And it was like everything with shipping.
But you got to get the 20s tubes. You got to get 20
it comes
tubes.
with it. It comes with the
20s tubes.
Yeah, it's like included.
Okay.
So it comes with the 20s tubes, a little score box with the pegs.
Yep.
2 sets of things, whatever, and then you can upgrade with. It comes with the wax automatically. I think I upgraded the pegs. I ordered a thing of the powder and 2 more sets of buttons with shipping. Everything was like $150 to $160.
You can't beat that, man.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, because the accessories aren't like super pricey.
Yeah, like the upgraded pegs are like $7.
$3 there.
They're wood screws with like
Rubber
tubing.
Like $6. It's like okay, it's where they're $3 more, or whatever. Yeah. My only I'm with you. Like Mike, you really speak the truth. Is like, and that's why I need to get out of my head of like, I don't need a $300 or $400 board. The Mayday board is going to be. I'm not a professional Crokinole player. I'm just going to randomly play at my house with my kid or my kid and his friends.
Right.
Whatever. I just need something that's good enough, right?
And as the 2-time Beans and Dice Crokinole champion, I'll
I was waiting for that.
And let you know that the Mayday boards are plenty good. We played in that tournament at the Your Turn Con, and I made it to the finals against a guy who plays kind of semi-professionally. I don't know whatever the ranks are, but he had his own board. He brought one of those nice boards. We had 3 of the Mayday boards, and then he had one. He had his own.
Yeah, I brought my 2 boards. Dan had his boards, and then he brought that super nice one.
Right, and then he had his own set of.
Nope.
His own buttons. Yep.
Come on, Rob.
He had his own buttons.
Yep.
And Rob met him in the finals.
Yep, Rob, you're still there. You go.
Yeah, I made it to the final. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got a loose wire here, but I made it to the finals against him, and we played on his board, and it is a big difference. It's just something you have to get used to.
And I think that's where Rob feels like he got sharked, right? Because the guy shows up with his own board and end up using it as the finals board, not the same Mayday board that Rob's been using for years and winning on.
Right. Yep. And in this thing, like Carlos said, the disc just flowed across it. I mean, you had to hit it half as hard as you normally do, and it was a cool experience. I actually took him to it was 2 out of 3. We went 1-1, and we ended up playing the final 3rd game. So I took him all the way down to the wire, and he was undefeated. He beat everybody, and we got on this thing, and it took me about a half a game to get used to it. So he kind of skunked me in the first game, but once I got used to it, it really is. I'll say it really is no difference. Playing on the Mayday boards, it's just getting used to a little slower board, a little different. I don't ever use the Carlos has the silicone powder. Carlos loves using that stuff.
Yeah, it takes getting used to, because the amount you put on can be different each time, and it impacts the consistency of the shot. And I think Rob would rather just go dry than have to like worry that it went too much powder or too little powder.
Yeah, I just like consistency. Yeah, if I can get used to just the consistent thing over and over and over again, So it definitely is good enough. I guess that's my final word on it. The dice board is nice, but unless you're playing all the time and you're going to be using that board in tournaments and things like that, the Mayday board is plenty.
And what's funny is I think I remember that tournament. I played in the same tournament and played 4 games. I feel like I did play on that board, but I didn't realize it was a better board, because I remember in my head now there was one board when you hit the button, the puck, whatever, that thing just boom, it flew across the board.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh crap, that was really quick, right? So really, if that's the big difference, like, okay, you realize Mayday boards, because that surface isn't like
but he could have also
ice.
waxed the crap out of that one
Right,
too.
he could, right,
Yeah, he
exactly.
could've,
He could wax like crazy. So I think that's almost a good selling point of saying is like, well, if you get the Mayday board, either you just realize you have to get used to the speed of it,
Yep.
or wax the crap out of it, right? And like those things are things you can change by either waxing or using the wax on the buttons or whatever.
Right.
And
Probably.
also, if you get the Mayday board and you play it like it's going out of style and you absolutely love it, you can always sell the Mayday board and buy a nicer
Upgrade
one
later. Yeah.
Yep. Sell the Mayday board for half the price and
That's very
put it
true.
towards a better board. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I remember at DragonCon every year, in the game room at DragonCon, there is a company that sets up, that does crokinole boards, where they will custom make you a crokinole board.
Oh yeah.
They'll even do like your own graphics on it. Like I'm a
Don't
Liverpool
tempt me,
fan, right?
Frodo.
They'll put
That's
like
for the Dice
Liverpool
Tower ones. Yeah, they've got all their customized.
but like, dude, they were like starting $450, right? And then depending on what type of wood you chose, because it was solid wood that they milled out, and then like, you know, so it was like these were like beyond professional boards. These were like heirloom.
Kyle, let me.
They advertise it like heirloom boards, right? Like it's like
hand me
That's
down.
the next
Right?
thing they're going to be making.
And I'm
is
like,
crokinole boards.
Yeah.
So check this out, Kyle. Though it's the gaming tales of horror. I don't know if that's trademarked or not, but I used
Here
it.
comes the story. I already know what it is. Go ahead.
So my first board was like an $80 board off of Amazon. It wasn't even circular. It was hexagon,
Don't get
octagonal.
the octagon.
It was an octagon. It was an octagon. It wasn't a circular board, but it was like $75. So I was like, okay, that'll be my first stepping stone into crokinole. At the end of the day, what I ended up with was, because I have a lot of children, was a $75 coaster. So we had a party. We had a Thanksgiving function at the house, and one of my nephews just set his glass right there on the crokinole board, and all the dew and everything. And by the time it came up, it left a ring on that. Oh man! And it was just this one like coffee ring stain size ring that's lifted. That whenever you ran your button over it, you see it kind of like divert. So having small children in the house,
the angle.
You know, I'm not going to upgrade this to an heirloom quality board until the kids are all gone out of the house, and at that point, I'm dead. Let's be honest. I just had another kid. I'll probably be dead by that point. So there's my warning to you: is depending on the house situation and can you protect it.
Keep it up on the wall.
You know, it's for the same reason that I buy IKEA coffee tables. I'll just buy one every 6 months instead of having that heirloom one that I get upset when it gets destroyed.
Good call.
That's a good point. Because we didn't even buy like a nice couch when we bought our house, because we knew we have kids. They're just going to be slobbering and spilling things all over it. We're like, why invest in a nicer piece of furniture?
Like the IKEA couch with the washable covers.
My man.
That's what I did. Yeah. We have all the IKEA couch with the love seat that has the
rip that Velcro off and just throw it in the washing machine.
Nice.
It's solid wood too. I mean,
I remember when I first bought my first flat screen TV, like my first flat screen. We still have it to this day, and it's probably 17 years old, 16 years old now. I walked in there and I said, these are my kids. Like, you know, I got 2 of them, so they're going to be rough with this as they grow up. I need something tough. The guy goes over to the plasma TV and he like punches it, because, you know, the old plasmas had like a full glass front, like a real glass front. That's still my TV to this day, because you know what? Damn them kids. They're not going to break it. Like, Rob's felt that pain a few times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've replaced a couple. Yep.
It'll kill the kid if it falls on them, though, because they weigh a ton. But other than
that's a natural consequence.
Yeah, that's a natural selection.
Darwin at work.
Wow. All right.
Oh, but Kyle, appreciate you
fellas.
calling in about this, because like I've been I think I've been conflicted in the last couple of days about this the crokinole purchase. I'm like, do I back out? Do I not? Do I like? I think I'm probably going to keep my pledge now at this point.
Good call.
Good man.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. And I think I had the same kind of concerns that you did. And it was funny that we were talking about it, because I was like having the same thoughts. It's like, I just don't want to throw money out on something that's just not worth it. 'Cause it's not like, because like at the end it's like $150 after you buy the accessories and stuff. Yeah, it's not small change. I mean, it's more than your typical board game, which will cost you around $60 unless you're buying something more intense. So it's it's a big purchase. Even the Mayday ones are kind of a big purchase. So I just you want to make the best decision.
Yeah,
and I don't feel terrible.
pretty good
I
about
showed
it as
pics. I showed while we were talking. I know you're outside not watching. I showed the rim, the perimeter of the board has chips in it. Right, the veneers come off and around the outside of the board, not the playable surface, but like the rim of the board, and it doesn't bother me. Like because I didn't go crazy on spending money on it. It is now the traveling board. The busted up one is the traveling board.
Nice.
And a little wear and tear adds personality. It shows.
there you
it's
go.
played, it's been
Gives
loved.
it a story, just like that ring.
You don't want it to just be a display piece.
Gives you a story to tell.
$85 coaster.
Oh my god. All right. Well, thanks, fellas.
All right, well,
Awesome,
be
man.
safe. Enjoy the new baby.
Thank you for calling
Try to
in,
get
man.
some
Thank
sleep.
you very much.
That's not going to happen, but
Oh God, I'll try. No.
1 in 100.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for calling, Kyle. Have a good night.
good night, Kyle.
Yep. You too.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
man.
Good combo. Good
Yeah,
combo on
nice
the
for-
Crokinole
nice.
board.
Good calls
Because
tonight.
after it was funny is I was all about the Mayday board, kick it because I know you guys had it, and then hearing kind of like a Crokinole enthusiast like just trash them. Not he was like, look, they're good. He even admitted it's like, look, if you're not like really gonna get into Crokinole, then this is probably good enough. But like they literally advertised that their boards are 80% as good as the high end boards. He's like, well, if you why not just go for the whole shebang? I'm like, it had me thinking, but really like even Carlos, like I'm not trying to like be mean. Like you don't store your like Mike said, you don't necessarily store yours
Carlos
vertically
is
or
throwing
flat.
his in the trunk. I mean,
leaning
come
on
on.
stuff.
Who are we kidding?
You've been rougher on yours than probably I would be on mine, like the type thing. So and yours is still. I played on yours. Yours are fine,
Yeah.
right? I had no problem playing on them. So I mean, like they can withstand some rough play, right? A rough
If
story.
Carlos can keep his okay,
Yeah,
anyone
pretty much
can.
like that. No, because they do say like store it either perfectly flat or store it on the wall, perfectly vertical. And I know oftentimes yours are kind of leaning or just kind of laying there.
His are always on
You're
the
like
floor.
45
Who are we
degrees.
kidding, man?
You're not
Dude, when that first one fell off, I was like, nope, can't do that again. Like that
Yeah.
that worried me when it
Now-
fell off.
What's interesting, they did say like in this campaign they did talk about like upgraded eyelets for hanging. So
Oh,
clearly,
now they do that.
yeah,
Oh, of
yeah.
course.
Well, you just
Second
got to make
wave.
sure that their
Next
end
wave.
are good.
Yeah.
You know,
But I feel like that like they've constantly kind of improved upon the product, right? So I'm going on Kickstarter 8, so they probably have worked out all the bugs by now, right?
hopefully.
Kind of see where the eyelet just pulled out, like it literally, it bent the MDF.
Yep.
And just ripped itself out. This is
Yeah.
not light. This is heavy.
Yeah.
There are 3 layers of MDF on this board.
But we also have to consider how Carlos probably hung it up. He was probably like throwing it at the wall and hoping that it hit the hook.
Hoping it
It,
stayed on
it
there.
was. It, I thought that was the expansion game.
Oh, well, there you
Throw
go,
the
man.
Crokinole board
Crokinole
onto the hook.
They actually just announced a stretch goal where they have a clock, like a clock face that you can hang in the middle of the
on-
board. So if
oh,
you
that's
hang it on
cool.
your
Oh,
wall,
that's
you
cool.
can
There
turn
you
your
go.
wall hanging Crokinole board into a clock.
Oh man,
Man,
I
you
might
talk
have
me
to
into
go
buying a
and back
Crokinole board.
something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to roll this Crokinole board into the slot.
There you go.
Into the what?
From a distance, from 5 feet away, he's gonna roll it in.
It's in.
He's-
All right.
Nice. All right, back to games.
Yeah.
Have you guys played anything
Oh,
in
yeah.
the past week?
Nope.
I have.
Go for it, man. What have you played?
We had a game day. Michelle hosted a game day. Played 3 new to me games that day. Finally got to play Sea Salt and Paper in person.
Oh, what'd you think?
Oh, it was good. So this game day was a whole like light bulb over Wayne's head of games that I've played on BGA where I've like
Incorrectly.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but now that I've played it in person, it's like, oh, I get it now. And so we played Sea Salt and Paper, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. That's how that goes. And that's a really cool game. It's fun. I really enjoy it. First of all, that tiny little box makes it like
Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
they perfectly matched it, and it fits the expansion, and fantastic. I love it. I'm really enjoyed it. And immediately, like as soon as the game day is over, I've joined like several other BGA plays of it, because I'm like, well, now I know how to play, so let's just rock this out, right? The second game I played was Maracaibo, and I've tried to play it once on BGA, or once or twice. I played 2 or 3 times on BGA and just got crushed because I just didn't quite get it. And Jim Odak, who's been in our chat all night, he's been wanting to get it, Rob and me and a couple other people to play it. So I finally got to play with him, and he taught it really well. And like just in the first 5 minutes of the teach, I'm like, oh, that's what that means, right? And that's what this means. Oh,
nice.
And man, that's a fun game. Like it's it's obviously Mediterranean, or not Mediterranean, it's Caribbean, and it's kind of like a little Great Western Trail-y, same designer, where you're moving across the board and doing different actions. But it's really all about your hand of cards and the tags on the cards, and kind of how you play those. And how they synergize to grow either your money or your infamy with there's France, Spain, and
England.
Great Britain.
Yep.
And just you can explore, or you can fight, or there's a lot of different options there. And I really enjoyed it. And what was cool is apparently in the expansion, even in the base game, there's kind of like campaigns where the board can change a little bit, where you can change some of the spots and some of the ports of call, and as you move your ship. So it's this whole, I think they call it ratchet, where you can either move, you can't move backwards, but you can move forward either 1 to 7, 1 to 7, 1 to 7, 1 to 7. So it was a really cool game. And now that I understand how to play it, immediately got in a game with Jim on BGA and got crushed because I tried a different strategy and it didn't work out very well for me. But I like the fact that there's an exploration strategy, there's like a conquest strategy, there's the card strategy, there's a bunch of different things you can do there. And once you understand kind of the iconography of it, which can be daunting, it's a kind of very icon heavy game. It's fun, and if you like that theme. Chester Wilson
trading in the Caribbean,
kind of is trading the Caribbean, but it really is a fun game. Rob, you'll when you play
I hate that I missed it. I've played on BGA 3 times now, and I've actually done well every time I played it. Won twice and finished second once. So I think I grasped the game pretty well, but I'm dying to play it on the tabletop just so I can get that run through.
It's a fun game, and having been binge watching Black Sails on Netflix the last couple weeks. This game was like hitting home to me because it was good.
We gotta play again.
It was good. It was very enjoyable. Love the game. It's not a little long. I think once you know how to play, because it's only 4 turns, and so it really depends on how quick people are moving through those actions. But it was very enjoyable. Jim had bought his copy with like all these expansions and 3D printed insert from Daryl. And I'm like, damn, I would have bought that.
Wanted that copy. Yeah,
it was good. So I really enjoyed Maracaibo. Can't wait to play it again. It's definitely it's up there. It's up there with it's going to be probably on my list.
Top 20 list. Nice.
Little preview.
And then we played Nar, which is another game
that's good.
Yeah. I think I played it once on BGA and had no idea what was going on, and then played it physically, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. It's kind of this cool Viking game where you're playing Vikings out, which have certain tags, and those tags give you benefits, either victory points or reputation, or like your crowns or bracelets or whatever. And then you can expend those cards, trash them to kind of conquer cards, and those go into a second set of tracks that you can then fire off with your bracelets, right? So it's like this whole thing is basically just a race to 40 victory points, and all these various things kind of score you victory points, but it's really all card driven. What I thought was interesting, and it's kind of not a complaint, but it's like these small box games where it's all just a bunch of cards, right? So, but when you put it out on a table, kind of a table hog, right? You've got like this tableau, so we played Nar, and it took up the same footprint as Maracaibo, actually bigger footprint than Maracaibo.
Wow, really?
Right? Yeah, but it's all cards, and they're like tarot sized cards, so it could have been smaller, I guess. But fun little game, definitely light. Set collection, victory point generation kind of game. fun. I'm now in 2 or 3 different versions of that on BGA. So it's like I
Nice.
learned 3 or 4 games on B, and now I'm like, okay, now I know how to play it. So let me go actually get in games and be competitive. But very, very easy to grasp. But really, it's just all about how you build that engine. Do you build for reputation, which gives you kind of victory points every turn? Do you build to build locations, which gives you an engine you can run, or do you just build cards? Because let's say the red cards, right? If you build a red card with victory point, and then you put another victory point card on top of that, it's 2 victory points, and you can keep building that. So there's 3 or 4 kind of different ways I think you can score a lot of points in this game to win. So it's fun, but fairly light and quick. I mean, maybe 45 minutes, 3 or 4 player. So it could be a pretty quick game.
I played it like 4 times on BGA, so I haven't played the physical version yet, so I wasn't aware that it was such a table hog. But I guess, even playing it on BGA, you can kind of see those are like tarot size cards, so they would be big. But I like it a lot for a quick little. I wouldn't call it a filler. I think it's definitely maybe a step above filler, but filler plus. But I like it a lot. Yeah.
Like I think with 4 players, we finished it in under an hour, 45 minutes or so, and that's with Teach. We kind of made
that's good.
Yeah, so I'd say is like that's the issue is like here's this game that is a filler plus midweight type, maybe close to that game, but the components when you put it on a table, it actually takes up a fairly decent space. But it's like, well, if you make those, like, why are those cards tarot size, right? Couldn't they be maybe not playing card size, but maybe somewhere in between? And then instead of having a 3x3 area on a table, you can condense it down, makes it more of a pub game, right? That you could play in like the restaurant. But either way, it's still fun. But I do like the fact that it is a smaller box game. It's maybe bigger than a tiny Epic, but not like a full size box game. But it was a really fun day. And then I also played Splendor Duel, which I enjoy. Rob and I played a bunch on BGA. I played a few times in person now. But in general, it was just a fun day of exploring. At least those 3 games that I hadn't played physically yet.
Still seeing the runaway leader problem with the
a little bit. Duel? I think Splendor. I really like Splendor Duel, but there is a little bit of a tug and pull. I think if 2
tug and pull. Hey. On your button. Grab your button on the tug and pull. Anyway, go ahead.
Actually, so I played with Ashley, and it was a good game because she was going for the crowns to get to 10 crowns, but I was going for 20 points, and it was fairly even the whole game. Right, so it was fairly even. And then I edged it out. I got my 20 before she got her 10. But I feel like in that game, if 2 people are going for crowns, or if you end up kind of with similar strategies, whoever gets out to the lead first is just going to run away with it. And it's hard to pivot then from you. Like Rob and I are going for crowns, and I realized, well, he's 1 or 2 ahead of me, so I'm not going to get to 10 before him. I got to pivot. It's hard to pivot, right? So but if you each choose different strategies from the beginning, because there's 3 ways to win. You get 10 crowns, 20 points, or 10 points in 1 color of Splendor. For those of you who know Splendor, there's colors, right? But it's a fun game, though. It really is a really good implementation of Splendor for 2-player only, which I think I might actually like it better than just base Splendor. Like I like Splendor.
People feel that way,
yeah, I think so.
But definitely, I think Maracaibo was the hit of the day. Definitely a game I would play. I'm looking to play again, and Jones to play more of it. I kind of regret because there's kind of a solo campaign that you can play too. So it's like that's kind of cool about like you can kind of do this there's
Caribbean, a story mode they call it.
Story mode you can do.
Through. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So kind of I'm hoping a copy pops up on like the Dice Tower virtual flea market.
Well, I own the base version, so if we want to get together sometime and play it, if we don't have Jim's copy, we can still play.
Oh, cool.
So anytime we can bring that. So cool.
Sweet.
I'll jump in with a quick update. I did play a couple nights ago. Me and Nick and Joe got together and played Frosthaven. And so just a quick update. I think on the last show we talked about that Nick called in and we talked about how Frosthaven is tending to be it's a puzzly game. It's a difficult game from scenario to scenario. But the few times we've struggled, we've usually been able to go back on the second pass and just kind of blow the thing away. And so we mentioned on the last one that we played through. We really weren't that close to winning. We kind of got to the last goal. We could see what the last part of it was, but then we got kind of wiped out right there. if we're like a turn away, sometimes we'll say, well, if we would have done that different, or we would have done that different, we would have beat this. And instead of playing the whole 2 to 3 hour scenario again, we'll fail forward and say, all right, well, we beat that. We maybe just won't take all the rewards or whatever.
Cool.
But in this last one, again, we admitted that we were far enough away that we needed to redo it. So just a quick update. We did redo it the other night, and we beat it in about 45 minutes. So we changed up our decks a little bit. And so once you kind of know what's coming and you know what to do, usually that second run, we did have one scenario we had to play, I think, 4 times. But every other scenario, if I remember, if we've lost, we've kind of reset some things. The game allows you to go back and change your deck and change the stuff, the items that you bring and your equipment and all that stuff before you tackle it again. And usually those second runs, I think every other time we've got it on the second run, and the second run has been pretty smooth. And so it's fun. I'm enjoying the content. Again, that first run is always kind of exciting. You don't know quite what's going on. You get a little bit of story. You get to see a little bit of what the bad guys are going to be. So you get some information, but you don't get all the, there's usually you do this and then you're going to go and read a couple of paragraphs, and it's going to change up the way it plays a little bit. And then you get to that next goal, and then.
Oh,
he got excited. He got really excited.
Yeah.
Talking his Frosthaven.
But so I got to quit bobbing my head when I'm talking. This wire keeps coming loose. But anyway, so it's fun with that little bit of unknown. And so that first run is always super exciting. And we're still beating most of the scenarios on our first run. But if we have to do a second run, it's kind of nice to know that, all right, well, we got this on the second run. So just, again, a quick update from last week. But I think that's the only thing I've played in the last week. So what have Mike and Carlos been playing?
I've played zero.
Actually,
I just
Life's
haven't
kicking
had
your
the
butt
time.
too. Like work, man. This last week, in May, it's the month of May. It's the end of the school year for the kids. There's all kinds of activities going on in the evening. And then it's also the ramp up of the claims season. As we get poor weather, people drive worse. People are driving more because it's spring and summer. It's a lot more accidents on the auto side. And then hurricane and tornadoes. Well, hurricane soon, but tornadoes over there for Mike. So it is like Ron said, there are seasons in a gamer's life, and May has been a rough one. Yep. I've got Sky Team in, so a couple of games of Sky Team, and I thought, you know what? Hey, let's play this one, honey. Let's get this one to the table. Melissa and I play it, and I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, let's just play something light, easy, relaxing. I forgot Sky Team is not that.
Nope.
It's stressful as heck, man.
I'm like, the plane's all flopping around. Like, are we going to land this thing? Nope. We were overshooting the engines in one moment, and we got to slow it down the next moment. I'm like, yes, it's easy, light on rules,
yes,
but emotions can get ramped up in that game. And I'm like, okay, that was good. That was good.
Rob and I have a permanent game going on BGA, and we had a scenario. Was it the Dusseldorf Airport or something?
I don't remember which one.
Whatever. It took us like 8-9 tries.
I just say about 8 tries to get it.
At least. Like it was like every time like there'd be like a mess. Like Rob, like we're going down. I'm like, oh yeah, we're like I'll be like, here it comes. We're going down again. It was like.
What were the modules that Dusseldorf added?
It was icy. It was icy airline.
So you gotta heat up the wings to clear the ice off.
And it was also like an overcrowding in the skies ahead. So there was like
rolling extra dice all the time.
The extra die
like every time. It was like one of the harder ones, and you had to have like the perfect die. And it's such a tough scenario. They give you 2 of those little extra modules. So we were taking one like the synergy where if our engine was the same, we would get an extra die. And we also took the one where if he does flat, Rob's usually the pilot, I'm the co-pilot. If he does flaps and I do wings or landing
on the same turn,
we gain a free reroll.
There was a black die you roll and you get to play
black
that one
die.
for free.
You get to play oh my god! And it still took us like 8 tries because it's you had to. It had to be.
There was no dice to waste in that one.
There was not one. Like if there was a turn where it was like I just wasted a die and putting in for coffee, we're done. Like it was like it had to be perfect placement like almost every time. It was a tough one. I enjoy that though. The stress of it's good.
Yeah. Yep. Those are fun once you finally beat it. Yeah, it's a real feeling of accomplishment. Yeah.
Yeah. I really love Sky Team.
It's a good game, though.
Chris posted a question there.
For the next time.
He's prepping us for next week.
Like,
this guy is way too much.
He's way too prepared.
Yeah, I love it. Favorite underrated board game? I said top 500. I think you gotta go to like top like 1,000 because I could. There's a ton of games in the 500 to 1,000 range that are awesome. That's easy.
Yeah, I'd have to
Outside
look
of
up a
top
few and
500?
see.
Favorite
I have my
underrated
automatic
games.
answer, which I think we've all used at some point. Let me just see what it's ranked right now.
Yeah, I gotta look and see because I have an idea of what I would.
Pirates!
No, that
There's a-
too.
There's a ton of games outside that top 500 that are
No,
crazy
what I'm
good.
looking at was 302 Ethnos 302, so that one doesn't work. I don't know. We got to do some research on this one.
So I got to go look at the 500 plus and
Yeah.
see. Okay. I have some ideas in my head. We'll prepare for that one for next week. Favorite underrated board game outside of the 500 BGG top 500.
Oh,
Chris is going to post
do-
it in the Discord as a
mine.
reminder. So you already got
mine's,
yours, Mike.
mine's at the 4,700 level.
Oh wow!
4,700.
Yeah.
There's
What
some
hot
saying,
garbage are you talking about? It's a trick
Whoa,
taker.
whoa, easy.
It's a
You'll
trick
find out.
taker.
You'll find out next week.
You'll find out
Carlos.
next week. Stay tuned.
Wow. All right.
Same bat channel, same bat time.
Next week is my
Superman
last
channel.
show for 2 weeks, probably.
That's right. Going
Oh,
to
that's right.
good
You're
old
going to
Japan.
Japan.
Isn't that a board game?
Well, let's go to Japan. Yes,
Let's go to Japan. Yeah.
They're very expensive board game right now. There's one on the BGG virtual market for $150.
Wow.
I'm surprised you're not chasing it down.
I have a list.
This
Games
is
to
list of
chase down
games that
when you're in
picking up?
Japan.
Yes.
Good gravy, man. That's a lot of games. Well,
I'm not gonna buy them
they're pretty
all, but-
small.
Yeah, and some of them are hard to find. You're not gonna get it. But apparently though, Carlos, you'll appreciate this. There is a Can't Stop travel edition that they sell in Japan.
Really?
Yeah. So someone on the Dice Tower Discord, Dice Tower Facebook group is apparently in Japan right now, and she posted a couple of, hey, I went to this game store, this game store, and here's some. What should I buy? And she just posted photos. So I'm like immediately follow, message her. What game stores did you go to? She messaged me, here are the 3 game stores I went to and where they're located. So I have those written down. And then she posted this Can't Stop game, and it literally looks. I haven't seen the inside of it, but the outside of the box, it looked like the same size board that you made on your Glowforge.
Yeah, too bad I lost all those files. That thumb drive. Where did you go?
I have the original if you need to like scan it or something. But no, I'm gonna be looking for it because if it's like an official like Can't Stop like travel edition, I'm gonna pick
That's
one up.
pretty cool.
Are you going to have enough room for the international flight back for all the
Yeah,
stuff you're
yeah,
bringing?
fine. Yeah, because we're actually we each get like 2 suitcases and we're only all taking one. So our goal is when we get there, if like when we buy souvenirs. So between board games and whiskey, I have a bunch that I
All tabbed already. Yeah.
and my kid's gonna Pokemon and whatever anime stuff he wants, and my wife. So what we're probably gonna end up doing is buying a suitcase there and loading it and coming back because we can go there with just our normal luggage, but we have allowances for up to 2 each, so we can have 6 suitcases.
All right. Well, if that's the case, if you happen to find that mini Can't Stop game,
yeah, I'm gonna try
put
to
me
pick
on
up
the
a couple.
list.
I'm gonna try to pick up a couple.
I'll Zelle you some cash.
Yeah,
or
there's no Zelling.
yens?
Any
What is it?
games? I have one.
Is it dollars over there? I don't know.
The yen. It's the yen. There's one that. What's the one that? The 6 of 7. Is that the one that you wanted, Mike?
The 6 of 8. No, I already
of
have
8.
that one.
No, what's the one that you wanted?
687.
Oh, Minnow Dice. Yeah.
Minnow Dice.
If I find a copy of Minnow Dice, that's Mike's. If I will buy several versions of the little Can't Stop Travel for as many people as I can. I can't guarantee how much I can bring back, but whatever I can bring back, I will. Hopefully, I can bring back a little something for you guys.
We actually played some Can't Stop after we played Frosthaven. Joe went home, and me and Nick, since we went through it so quick, we were like, let's play something. Nick actually pulled out, he had hand-drawn a Can't Stop board with dots and numbers.
Awesome.
And he had little meeples that we used to go up the different tracks, and we played that twice. So there you
Amazing.
go.
I kind of want to do that with mountain goats.
Oh,
Right, like I enjoy mountain goats. I get it. Can't Stop can be better, but mountain goats is also good. But like y'all were talking about with Nar.
Nar. Yeah.
Once you lay
Nar.
out all the cards, it just takes up a lot more space than it should. Because it's the what's the table games that Mike likes, that table company?
All play.
All Play. It's that same box size, right? And they use the square cards that fit just inside of that box. And when you lay them out, 7 up in a row, that's a distance. It ends and like 6 across. That you might as well give me a board.
Yeah.
So I want to find a way to miniaturize that. I think I'm gonna do what Nick does. I'm just gonna put it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, just draw some dots and get some meeples and just do it that way.
So we'll see. Yeah, I hope to hit at least 1 or 2 game stores while I'm there, and we'll see what I can find. So,
Nice.
interesting.
Awesome.
All right, folks. Well, that gets us through another 2-hour show of blather and nonsense.
And phone calls this week. Phone calls.
Yeah.
Lots of phone calls this week. Great phone calls. New callers.
Appreciate all the input.
All you folks at home that are watching, like even those of you that are watching after the live show, I get it, right? But if just call, just like you don't have to be watching the live show at that moment. If it's between 9 p.m. Eastern and about 10:30 Eastern, just dial the number 813-618-7099. Like you put a little Gmail calendar reminder. You can be anywhere in the world. You don't have to be watching the show live. Just call in and tell us how you're doing.
You can always call and leave a voicemail.
I was going to say, on that number, can't they leave a voicemail?
They can.
Well, then maybe you need to come up with a weekly thing like, hey, call in with
best,
blah, blah, blah.
best voicemail every week. Yeah.
We'll play the
Call.
best.
You know what? Leave a voice message to tell me what your favorite underrated game outside of the 500 top BGG
There you go.
that you enjoy.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Get it.
Challenge. Now
Chris
that
is
does
going to
mean
end up owning this show pretty soon.
Let's get it over to him. Yeah.
that does mean, Carlos, you need to take this show and actually put it out as a podcast too.
Oh, I got.
yeah.
The last 2 weeks I've missed. I will
There
do
you
that.
go.
I will put that out there now.
There you go. There you go.
So,
You all are appreciated. Wayne, when do you head out?
next week, next Saturday. Sorry, a week from Saturday.
Okay, so you'll be here
Week
next
from
week.
Saturday.
I'll be
So
here next
you'll
week.
be here
I'm
next
here, I'm
week.
here for
It's the
next
week
week's
after.
show. It's 2 weeks after that. The following 2 weeks, I will be in a different time zone far enough where me calling in probably won't make sense.
Leave a
see.
voicemail.
Yeah, I will. That's true.
All right, folks. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Leave your voicemails. Favorite underrated game outside of the top 500 BGG. We'll catch you next week.